Hey guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd. We're also trying the background music again through StreamYard. So let me know what you guys think about that. It just there's many of them, so I'm just like seeing if we're liking the groove when we're talking. That makes us feel a little laid back. Everybody get a drink. Had a long day. Maybe this music's gonna do something for you, or maybe it's gonna annoy the hell out of you. Just let me know what you think in the comments. I have to make a quick shout out to Mercenary for a second because I normally don't look at the comments when I first come into these streams. But he said something that really amazed me. He said, "I know what happened to Harry. He was transported to Bridgerton, and I like literally spit out my drink." So, good job, Mercenary. Okay, guys, this episode was filled with a lot of feelings, a lot of revelations, a lot of, I'm just going to call it out, a lot of fixing season 3 and season 2 shit. I mean, I feel like the showrunners were like, we're going to retcon everything season 3 did because, and we got to see that with both Jordan and Ruby tonight. And you know what? I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on it at all. But let's just kind of get into the meat of the story, and then we will, we'll get everything together. So, family dinner. Kayla threw a little family dinner over at the Vera, I guess estate. I don't know what we're calling it at this point. And she went out and got groceries. She was baking, making all this food. She got a recipe out of a drawer for Ruby's love buns, and she served it to them at dinner. And of course, Mel was like, "Oh, these are really good." And she's like, "Oh, it's just a recipe I modified from, in the kitchen." And so Mel was like, "Oh, I have to do the grades and papers now." And then she basically, she tells on Maggie right after that and says, "Oh, you looked really hot. Where were you going to like whatever umpteenth in the morning by yourself?" And of course, Jordan's like, "You went demon hunting without me?" And then he was in his feelings and he thanked her for the meal and then he left. And then Maggie was sitting there and she's like, "I guess it's just more food basically for us." And then she pulls out a bowl and it just happens to be Macy's bowl. And then Maggie's in her feelings and then she leaves. And Kayla's like, "Well, all right then. Happy freaking family dinner to me." Now, Kayla is an only child. This is so Macy and Paige all over again. They're raised as single kids, not any siblings at all. So they don't know. She doesn't really know how to, like, I guess, navigate the sibling and family scenario they got going on with siblings. So I know she's frustrated. And so and she makes no bones about how frustrated she was being in this episode. So let's just break it down into 3 parts, I guess. Really, I think it's more 4 parts. 4 parts of this story. We've got Harry and Michaela. We've got what's going on with Mel. We have Maggie and Jordan. And then, of course, we have what's going on with Roxy. So we're going to break it down in that, in that order. So let's start off with Kayla and Harry. Harry did not come to family dinner. He's training her. He's giving her like the lowdown of the charm ones, like the history of it. Because he's going to start from the basics before they move into magic. Which honestly, as somebody who is a kinesthetic learner, I am kind of like Kayla. I like to do without listening to a lecture. So like I want to do it. Well, if I'm going to learn something off of a YouTube video, for instance, I'm going to watch the video as I'm doing it. I'm not going to watch the video and then go do it. I'm going to listen to somebody tell me how to do it and then go do it. So I know it was kind of frustrating. Is the mic having issues? I'm sorry. I don't know why. How about this? I'm going to stop playing this music and you guys tell me if that is what's happening, because that could be what it is. So let's do that. Let's stop playing the music. All right, is that better? Let me know, guys, if that is actually better for you. I don't know why it is doing that. So can you hear me better? And I'm also checking my audio too, because I do not know. Shows it's working, so I have no idea. Just let me know in the comments. I'm going to keep going. Let me know in the comments if the audio sounds better and that I turn the music off, because it could be splitting the audio because it's a new feature. I don't know. It is StreamYard, so I apologize. It sounds far away. Okay, hold on. let me do this. I'm going to turn my perspective mic. How's that? Better? Better? And if it is, I'll try turning the music back on. All right, so back to the whole thing with Harry and Kayla, though. So, she doesn't want to listen to him. Yeah, there's a 2-prong mic. I'm a voice actor. So what normally happens is I have it unidirectional. So I do apologize for that. I do the same thing with Neumann. I'll forget to turn the Twitter around. And then, yeah, my bad, guys. I love you. All right. So back to the whole Harry and Kayla thing. So again, she's a kinesthetic learner. I'm a kinesthetic learner. We like to pick things apart. We like to learn things as we go. So he starts teaching her the history and she's sketching basically. And she wants to learn magic, which quite frankly, I don't blame her because even in this damn episode, she got literally, kidnapped. But we'll get to that in a second. So her and Harry are butting heads and she starts getting in her feelings about, everybody not coming, him not coming to the family dinner, everybody basically leaving the dinner and just being in her feelings. And, Harry was like, oh, well, what happened? And she talks about this bowl that Maggie freaked out about. He's like, oh, that's Macy. Me and Macy bought that at a flea market, months before she died or whatever. And she's like, oh, that means we have to encase it in gold or something like that. And he got in his feelings. He's like, you know what? You're right. Let's fast forward this training. And so that he gets into this simulation, but we don't know it's a simulation at this point. We think they're actually sword fighting and he's really trying to kill her. So he's taking his anger out on her because how dare she say that about Macy? Now I am of 2 minds. Yes, it was very insensitive of her to say that because she knows they're grieving and it's only been, 6 months. And so, they lost their sister, they lost a charm one. So I understand that maybe she should not have said that shit. To be honest with you, that was very, very insensitive. But at the same time, Harry's supposed to be a white lighter. He's supposed to be a guardian. He's supposed to be a person that oversees and protects witches. And he is in his feelings. So he should not be training her. I mean, when I saw him training her, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're not in a good place to train anybody. I mean, what is wrong? You're still trying to drink at 11 o'clock. So I knew that was a train wreck. And after the little encounter, he, leaves the command center and they basically have little words and he leaves the command center and they don't basically, it is a butting of the heads. And then of course, Roxy has 2 goons sent to bring him back to the blue Camellia because she wants to talk to him. And they're like, you can come with us right now or we can make a scene. And I was like, this is some Godfather stuff. And he even kind of calls it out, some Godfather GTA crap. So the Men in Black, it was very interesting. I love how this season so far is really playing to my nerd pop culture. All of the knowledge of all the movies that I know is coming into play right now in this season. All right. So I'm going to stop right there. We'll finish Harry's part of the journey and then Kayla after that. Let's move on to Mel. So Mel is in her feelings, of course, because she's having flashbacks of Ruby and she's in the attic. She doesn't sleep. She was grading papers and, I think she probably slept for an hour and she's trying to get herself to be able to get her time magic back. And I swear to you guys, 2 things happened this week, which is they were watching my damn stream last week. Number 1 is that Mel wants her time powers back. And number 2, Jordan says, and I'm not even a psychology major. I just talked about him being their psychologist last week and actually in other streams. I said, he's out here, working as a psychologist and doesn't even have a psychology degree. I'm like, are they hearing me? God, are they hearing me? But Mel is in an interesting place. She still hasn't told anybody, not her sister, not Harry, anybody what happened with her and Ruby. She stares at this box. She gets this champagne and she was going to save it for a special occasion. And then she pops it open and decides to day drink. Cause it's always good when the charmed one drinks during the day. And she starts having she started off having a dream, a talisman dream where Ruby is, I guess, the embodiment of the talisman and tries to kill her. And then next thing you know, it's she has a new time power. It's she's able to use this ability to touch an object
that is, I guess, sentimental and transport herself back to that moment. Now, I don't know if we're being made to think that this is something that she's going to have, or if this is just something she had just so we had a reason to bring Ruby back in. But either way, she kept going back to this moment. It's a very sweet moment. Ruby sitting there, and it's something that's very sentimental. And then we learn it's actually the day that Mel and Ruby broke up. Now, my opinion about this, guys. I did say that Ruby and Mel's had a U-Haul relationship. And I have been saying that like effing forever. And I also said I did not appreciate the fact that Ruby was a very cool character in season 2. Meaning she had all those male roommates. She was into sports. She didn't want to have anything to do with magic. She was very independent. And then season 3 comes around and she's basically kissing Mel's ass. Like she's like, oh, you want to save the world? Oh, I will help you make this potion. Oh, I love you. I'll support you. Oh, you're carrying this magical baby. I'm here for you. And it's like, I always thought that was so weird that Ruby was so 100% committed into this relationship when we never saw anything that got them from where they were in season 2 to where they were in season 3. And I feel like because of Mel's storyline this week, the heavens of network and TV writing has opened up the portal of hallelujah and said, let me give Ruby some lines that are going to redeem her in the eyes of all. Because Ruby said to Mel in this episode, being with you was hard. Because the relationship was all about you. Mic drop. You were going to propose. So Mel proposed to Ruby. That is the big mystery here. And she smiled and said no. And then we learned from Ruby that she proposed about 10 minutes after her sister died. Of course she's going to say no. So I was like, hallelujah. Ruby dropped that mic. That girl walked in there and she was like, I'm the director of the sports team. I'm volunteering at this Center for LGBTQ plus youth. And I'm not with you. Guess what I'm doing, Mel? Living my best life. I'm like, guess what? It's not about you, Mel. I was like, Ruby. Now, Ruby, I'm telling you, I'm on board with I'm on board with Ruby. I was not on board with Ruby and Mel, but I am Team Ruby. So there we go. I am absolutely ecstatic, and I kind of feel like this is a FU to the previous showrunners where they were like, this is what you did to this girl, and this is what we did to fix it. So yeah, the entire trek, Mel drinking, her reminiscing about Ruby. Again, I don't know if you were supposed to believe that this is a power she's going to have. It would be cool, but the problem that I have with this ability is if she doesn't physically transport to those places by touching an item, which I would effing love, then I'm going to be in my feelings because there's no difference between that power and Maggie's premonition powers. That's how I feel. So if she's not physically going back in time to that moment, then I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want it. That's how I feel about that. But yeah, Ruby got redemption, baby. Arrowverse wasn't involved. We had the Ruby redemption arc tonight. So I was like, all right. So let's move on to a second redemption. Oh, because we in a row. And it is Jordan. So a lot happened in this episode, but I am going to pick on some stuff too. Maggie and Jordan. Jordan is not putting up with Maggie's shit anymore. And I'm like, you know how season 3 was the year of Maggie? Well, guess what? That year is over. Because Jordan is like, get your shiz together, girl, or I'm out. So we learned, of course, at the family dinner, she's been going out and she's angry and fighting demons alone, which is dangerous. Because she doesn't technically have an active power. Yes, she has Inception, but she doesn't have an active power. She literally has Daredevil's nightstick. That's all she's got. So I'm like, it is dangerous for her to be doing this. Plus, she's just angry all the time. And we see this throughout this episode. So they're having issues. Jordan gets a text message from Mr. Leprechaun. And they're going to see him. And when they get to his house, he's like encased. And there's like this timer with like this Joker-like poisonous. It looks like a Joker trap, really. I thought I was watching Batwoman. And of course, Jordan's like, I had a buddy, like when I was in the military that was basically learning how to, defuse bombs. So surely I could just cut some wires and figure this out. And he cuts the wires and he's like, oh, this isn't good. And he cuts another wire and it's like, doesn't do anything. He cuts the third wire and then the timer speeds up and drops all the way down to like seconds. And he's like, well, that's all I can do. And it just kind of back up. And I'm like, what? You like gave up. I'm like, why? Why didn't anybody call Harry to teleport this leprechaun out of this damn thing? Like, what? They just gave up. So luckily that part of the trap was a joke. Hence the Joker. That's why it reminded me so much of the Joker. I can't help it, guys. Comic nerd. And I like when he gets out, this is where I feel like I have to start nitpicking even more. There is alcohol left with a riddle and a rock, which we learn later is an egg. And the riddle, basically, it's basically detailed, and it talks about what happened, what's going to happen to the leprechaun, what's going to happen to the next magical creature, because we do have a magical creature of the week. And then, of course, there's a third part that we have not deciphered yet. And they're like looking at that, and Maggie's like, oh, there's alcohol. Let me get this guy a drink. He's kind of shaken. He almost blew up. I had to incept him because he was like losing his shit because he thought he was going to blow up. So let me get him this drink. So she gets him this drink, and she gives him the drink, and he's drinking, and he's like, oh, thanks for bringing this. And they're like, we didn't bring that. It was just like right there. And I was thinking to myself, why the hell would you go into somebody's alcohol? First of all, it's called manners. You're like, hey, you want a drink? You have some alcohol over here. Let me get you a drink. Now Maggie's like, poured it in there. And because Maggie gave him that drink, that's when he was poisoned. But he was poisoned with a ticking bomb and some kind of magical bomb that they hear a ticking sound and then he just effing explodes. So essentially, technically speaking, the tally man killed him, but technically Maggie was the carrier. Like when you get your vaccine and you have a carrier, she was the mRNA of the magical COVID vaccine. So I'm like, well, that happened. So fast forward, they're going back to the house, trying to figure stuff out. They call Kayla back. Kayla's coming to the house. And, she sees this rock because she calls and nobody is answering her. Well, something grabs her because she's holding the rock and takes her away. They find a huge snake skin in the house, which I immediately was like, no. And then, we learned that this is a lamia, a half human, half snake. No. And what they normally do is they swallow their prey whole and then they regurgitate them. Hell no. And then that's what happened to Kayla. It swallowed her, regurgitated her, took her to the San Juan Islands and put her in a tree. I don't know why she's in a tree, why she couldn't just be like somewhere else, but she was in a tree, in a cocoon, in a tree. They got her down. And of course, Jordan started healing her. The irony of this situation is when they were going to the San Juan Islands, Mel was full ass drunk. She got a potion to sober herself up. I'm assuming it worked because she was walking and she was like, hey guys, wait up. They were not waiting up. And Maggie was even like, this is why we don't day drink. And I'm like, you are not in a position to judge anybody. You're out here beating the hell out of things. I mean, just stop. But nobody waited for Mel. But then they got Michaela out of the tree. He was getting all the stuff off her. He was trying to heal her. And then Maggie's like, I'm going to go kill the lamia. So she goes off. And then Jordan tells Mel, you need to go talk to her. I tried, she's not listening to me. And then Mel's like, all right, I'll try. I'm like, okay. So then she goes off and then she starts talking to Maggie. And Maggie's like, well, you don't share with me, so I'm going to share it with you. She's like, okay, well, you know what? I asked my girlfriend to marry me. And she said no. She smiled at me and she said no. And I was embarrassed and I was shattered and I was upset. And Maggie's like, yeah, that's understandable. And she's like, what about you? Well, I'm fine. I'm like, I only deal with my feels. So then they head off and they go into I guess it's the lamia's shack house. It's not her nest. Her nest is like 5 or 6 miles from her. But I guess the place she was hiding her egg. It was like kind of like a shack type area or cabin, something like that. And Maggie's going there to kill it. So we don't see the full thing. We just see her fighting it and about to like take this lamia out. And what saves her is Michaela, as Jordan's healing her, and she wakes up. She's like, well, Harry taught me about, the cycle of life, basically, and how magical creatures procreate and have babies, and some of them lay eggs. And she's like, she was just talking about it, and like, which tells me she was listening to Harry. And then of course, Jordan's like, oh shit, we're about to kill this woman because she's protecting her baby. So then they run and they get there just in time. I felt like it took Maggie and Mel longer to walk there than it did Jordan and Kayla to get there, if that makes sense. But I digress. And props to Kayla, because if I had been wrapped up in a snake cocoon, I don't know if I'd have sea legs. I wouldn't be able to move very fast at that point. But anyway, they get there and they stop her and they're like, Maggie, you're about to take this girl out for saving her baby. And then of course they start hearing a ticking sound, and it's tick, 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 tick. And I don't know what she drank, but they said it had to be something in a drink. So unfortunately, they're all standing there watching this poor Lamia blow the hell up. And I'm like, why are you not trying to save her? I don't know. I feel like they should have done something. Honestly, I'm still a little bit in my feelings because I don't know if I'm 100% on this. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't think that there was any damn magic outside of Jordan's used in this entire episode. I think we had the Daredevil nightstick for Maggie a majority of the time, but no manifestation powers, no Elsa and Firestorm powers, Human Torch, whatever you want to call it. There is nothing unless you count what was happening with Mel. So I don't know. It's just sad. It's sad that Lamia had to die. And especially since she just wanted to save her baby. I was in my feelings about that, guys. And I mean, there may have been nothing they could have done, but I mean, I don't know. You're the effing charm ones. Do a spell, freeze some shit. I don't know. Try something. Even if you cannot do anything, I just felt like them standing there like this. I was just like, oh my God. And she's like, get out of here. Take my child away. And they're like, get out of here and save my baby. Like, they're just standing there. I don't know. I thought that scene was really, really funny. I'm sorry. I really did. But yeah, they're able to get the egg to the nest, which had me question who's going to raise this half human, half snake child. You just leave it in the nest and it just fends for itself, I guess. I mean, that could be the cycle of life. Maybe that's what happens anyway. I don't know. But, it's a thing. But I don't know. I'm trying to think if anything else was used. I know we had Mel's flashbacks. I know we did have healing used by Jordan. Oh, wait. So Maggie did use her inception powers. But outside of that, I feel like nobody else got a shot. Like, I'm so used to the charm ones fighting something and using a spell or a potion or something. And Mel did use a potion on herself to stop being drunk. So there's that. So let's jump back over to Roxy, Harry, and all this stuff. So Roxy invites, and when I say invite, I mean basically insists that, Harry comes to the club. And he shows up, and it's like, first of all, I will say this. Another character was introduced too, and I will talk about that too. I know there are 3 new characters this season, and so we got to see the second one, even though he didn't say anything. Well, really, he said 1 line or 2 lines, but we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, he shows up at the club because he really did not have a chance to say no, because, of course, they were going to make a big deal out of it, the Men in Black. So they brought him to the club. And we learned that Roxy is a Sarkadian, and she basically is there for a year in the club, and then she goes underground for 7 years, which is a really effed up cycle. And she seems to be the last of her kind, just like Harry. So we did learn that. I don't know what Roxy's endgame is, but she talked to Harry about the new charm one and her origin being, unorthodox and stuff like that. And then he was like, Harry, she asked Harry how Kayla was, and he said, actually, she's frustrating and he's just venting about her a little bit. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I can help you with that. So she calls Sunny, our little hot bartender that had the attitude last week when Jordan and Harry were going to question her. And she brings like this potion called the Malleable Maven. And it's supposed to make you basically submissive as hell. That's literally it. And I was thinking, Harry, if you use that on Kayla, I have no respect for you whatsoever anymore. But she has a potion, and then she offers him a mushroom from the Forbidden Gnome Forest. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to basically allow him to see his potential, like who he's supposed to become or be. And he doesn't take it initially. He grabs a potion, which I freaked out a little bit about, especially later on in the episode where he takes Kayla to the club and they're like bonding a little bit. And, he tells her, she's like, they're apologizing to each other. And he's like, you can grieve how you want, and I'm sorry. It's probably because I'm an only child. But he said, oh, because you're adopted. She's like, I'm adopted? You mean my whole life is a lie? My parents are liars? And she she played it off. And then she was joking, which Harry kind of got a little amused about. I could tell he was also like, yeah, for you, girl. And then he's like, I'm not going to train you anymore. I should not have been training you. And he's like, I'm going to go live my life. Because that's what Roxy said. He needs to go live life. So at the end of the day, he decides to go take the magic mushroom. And then he gets teleported, which is why I was laughing so hard at a comment that I happened to catch coming in. Because I think he was transported to Brickerton. I think that was effing hilarious. It would be interesting though if he's out of the next few episodes, because we need less Harry. We've had too much Harry the last few seasons. So if he's off doing his little journey of discovery, then I'm completely okay with that. Maybe we'll find out who his other damn family is, that he cheated on his first wife with before he died and had a whole other kid and a wife. So maybe we'll learn more about that. I don't know. But something interesting. I love that Kayla, right before that happened, said that she did not want to know who her parents were because she did not need to know her past to know who she was. And I'm like, I kind of like that. I really do. I just don't, because Harry was like, well, maybe we'll learn more about the foundation of your powers, where they come from with your biological parents. And she's like, I don't need to know that crap. I don't need to know that to know me or my powers. So I'm like, okay, girl, I have respect for that. I really do. But I mean, again, she's a kinesthetic person. She likes to do as she learns. And I'm the same way. So like, I don't disagree with that mythology. Like, I think that her using the example of learning to put the engine together, take it apart, make some mistakes and put it back together was actually a pretty good one. And Harry's like, well, you have manifestation ability. You can't make mistakes. And I think that is a really effed up thing to say to a new witch, because every witch makes mistakes. I mean, look at season 1. They made mistakes all the damn time. So I did not like that at all, but it is what it is. And we got to see, so there's a scene after Harry goes off to take the mushroom where basically Kayla's going to the bathroom and this guy's coming out and his name is Dev. He's played by, I think I wrote his name down, Kapil Talwalkar. I butcher names. He's adorable. And I feel like that, I don't know if they're going to have a little relationship or whatever, but he kind of smiled at her a little bit. He's like, see something or whatever. And she's like, not really. It was something catty like that. So I'm like, I don't know if they're going to have a relationship, but I'm here for it if it happens. So she's bisexual. I got to prep me. I know, I'm queer, but I'm pan. So I'm cool either way. So I just think that having him come in is pretty interesting, though. I would not hate if, I don't know. I'm kind of worried because I feel like they're not going to bring Abigail back, which is stupid. And I'm kind of wondering if Mel is going to have a love interest this season. And I know people are like, well, now Mel needs to find herself and make it about her. But I think that maybe she needs to learn a lesson and she needs to be with somebody who's not going to make it about her. And Ruby's not doing it. And I love that. I love that so much. I love it so effing much. But I feel like her being the one that doesn't have anybody, it's weird for me because Macy had Harry, which is a very good relationship. Technically Maggie has Jordan, but right now she doesn't, because at the end of the episode, Jordan basically told her to get her shit together because he wants to save people, not hurt them, or he's out. So she technically has Jordan, but right now she's blowing it herself. And then Mel's just had really bad luck with relationships. She's had a lot of women and it's been very bad. So I don't know. My dream is for Abigail to come back because I love them together, and it wouldn't be about Mel with Abigail. I really want Abby and Mel, but I'm open to Sunny and Mel or some other character to come in. As long as they weren't another U-Haul, I would be completely okay. As long as they won't revert, as long as they stay this course of having an empowered woman saying, I want to be in this relationship too, and I'm not going to make it just about you. I'm tired of you and your magical shit. I knew it was going to happen. That girl said in season 2, she didn't want to she didn't be involved in the magical world. So I knew that was not going to last. So, and I love that Ruby told her, it wasn't just that it was bad timing. Your sister just died. I don't want to be in a relationship with you because it's all about you. So I'm like, yep, I actually like that a lot. So there's that. The last thing that happened in this episode is, Maggie decided to call for help to get a therapy appointment, like emergency therapy, because she realized, after talking to Jordan, she is angry and she's got aggression issues and she's beating the shit out of things. Well, this guy was like catcalling her and being an a-hole. And of course, he calls her a bitch. And I mean, I felt it in my soul because she was on the phone leaving a voicemail to her therapist, and he kept coming at her like, no, you look good in the back too. It's the same as the front, blah blah blah. And then she said, "What did you say to me?" Blah blah blah. You should see I was trying to leave a voicemail, and he said something. He's like, "You're a bitch." And then she beat the shit out of him. She was railing on this guy, and people were looking at her through the window. Now I saw the preview for next week, and they're going to a spa and stuff. So I'm assuming that they did some kind of spell so that didn't happen. But she assaulted someone. She didn't cuss him out. She beat the hell out of this guy. And people saw it. And they probably could have recorded it and put it on their version of YouTube or Twitter or TikTok, whatever. And that's effed up. And so, I don't know. Girl's got anger issues. And I understand she misses her sister. Like I said, I'm grieving still for my mother. And, I understand what it's like to go through very hard grief. But she is hurting other people, not just demons now. She's making very bad choices, and she's about to sabotage a relationship that a lot of people waited for her to get since season 2. So, in my feelings about that. But overall, good episode. Like I said, the Ruby redemption arc, and Jordan basically getting his balls back and saying, I'm sitting here analyzing how you got problems and not helping people. And I'm not even a psychiatry major or psychology major. And I'm like, yes, that is exactly right. So I'm extremely happy with that. So our mysteries are as follows. What does the last line in the riddle mean? What is the Tallyman's end game? We saw the Tallyman. We learned that the Tallyman is using spiders to spy on them. But who the hell is this guy? Why is he doing this? Why is he trying to turn the magical world against each other? Why is he hurting magical people in general? What game is he playing? What is it? I mean, he's literally like a cross between Joker and Riddler. And I think, again, another pop culture or comic reference. I love how when they got the riddle, Maggie's like, oh, great. It's the Riddler now. It's like every episode you get like throw-ins. I think it's funny. But we have to figure out what his end game is. What is Roxy's end game? Where the hell did Harry get sent to? Are there any repercussions for what Maggie did in this episode? I really need to know that because I will be in my feelings if there's nothing. Now that Mel has been told about herself, like that in terms of relationships, she's not good because it's all about her. What's she going to do with this feedback? Or is she going to be in her feelings? Is she going to, what is going to happen? Is she going to get her time powers back? I don't know. So there's a lot going on in this episode. On top of that, where are we going to see Brett again? I need Brett. We need to have the BFF for Kayla to be involved in this show. I need her to come back because I really like her and she needs to have somebody with her. And I'm upset because I kind of felt like maybe it would have been cool if her best friend could have lived, in the bus with her. And went and lived her life and transferred just to be with her friend. I don't know. I know I'm thinking too much, but it would be nice if Kayla had someone because they all have people and she's just there. Her family is like, I wonder what her parents are even thinking, if they even know that she's living in Seattle now. Like, is this something that was discussed? I would love to see the reaction to that. Hey, by the way, mom and dad, I'm no longer in Philly. I'm in Seattle. Say what? I'm like, as a parent of a child that is almost 26, I would need to know this information. I would like to know when you decided to uproot your life without telling me. So I would love to know the conversation she had with her parents when she just up and decided to leave. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I would like to know. So that is my thing. But again, good episode. This season is not letting me down. And I'm super excited for what's to come. And I'm super excited for next week because next week looks extremely funny because it's basically at like a spa. And there's like, I think it's like a water lily that's like shooting spores and stuff that I guess the Tallyman is affected. So I'm excited. So let's look at some comments. Questions, concerns. We have a lot of them. So let me start at the very top. I wonder how she's related to them. We all do. The only person that does not wonder is apparently Kayla. She don't seem to give a damn. So Mel has chromo skimming powers. Kind of like that. But see, I don't know, though. I don't know if we're being made to assume that or if it's just our way of bringing Ruby in. Because, I mean, we had to have a reason to have Ruby come back for us to have the awesomeness of telling Mel, it ain't about you, girl. The U-Haul has moved on. So Mel has chroma skimming powers. I kind of like that. 2 out of 5 stars. Y'all, Maggie needs a hug. Maggie needs shock therapy. That girl is not doing well. This episode was my favorite. So much info and deep dive in Magical World. It felt like a new show. I like this episode world building better than the series. I love the fact. I didn't mention this. I really want to, though. So let me go. I had to write their names down because, guys, I'm tired and I forget names, which is why I'm a voice actor. And, because I can just read the scripts. I don't have to memorize them. But I know that they were having their session. And if I remember correctly, is it here? Sorry, I took a lot of notes because I didn't want to forget anything. I did it like an outline, so I want to make sure I get it to where I need to be. So bear with me. Old eyes. Ha! The first charm ones. So Harry was telling the story of the first charm ones. At first, I thought he was going to say Melinda Warren, but he was like, Ishta, Inara, Ishani, and they beat the Conqueror. And I'm like, I want to see this story. I would love to see this in an episode. They were the first 3 witches that band together to take down the Conqueror, and they became the first charm ones. That is a story that I thought would have been really freaking cool. But, it is what it is, I guess. Let's see. This episode is my favorite. I got that one. Sorry. Wow, seriously, must be your favorite for season 4, not the entire show. I was just waiting for something to actually happen. They do this cat and mouse thing a lot. I truly think some form of time powers might be coming, though they could have taken the easy way out and advanced current molecular power the way Piper did. Mel could utilize her power. To then freeze things like in the OG series, Halloween Witch line could. I want her to be a time witch. I'm not giving that up. I'm sorry. That is my opinion. I want this to happen. I need this to happen. I loved her time powers. I love them. I do not like her current powers. I know some people do, and I get it. It's supposed to be a more progressed version of her time abilities. I don't care. I want her time powers. I would take freezing a room over freezing something any effing day. I would take that. I would take being able to, by a thought, travel back and forth through time instead of heating something up. I can't. I cannot get behind that power. I'm sorry. I can't. The guy who liked in the middle of Eastern Descent and the club owner of the Arcadian are 2 new season regulars. We have 3. We have one named Diana too. That's coming. Replacements for Swan, Kevin, and Antonio. Yeah, Diana should be coming. I don't think we've seen Diana yet. I don't remember talking about her, so that's going to be a thing. We know Mel's freezing occurrence, molecular chrono, in its new form will have a storyline this season, and we will get answers. Also, my thoughts on Kayla's powers and its cons were shown tonight. I have issues with anybody that have to initially draw something while being under attack. As a Super Sentai fan, I used to love a show called Shinkanger, which you guys would probably know as Power Ranger Samurai. And like even their little brush strokes, it's like it takes so long to do those characters that it's like the monster should have just killed them. But to be fair, they should have got killed when they were forming their Megazords. So that's a whole other conversation. But I feel like it takes a lot. Like when Kayla in the last episode was drawing on Maggie's back, it's like that was fine when they were trying to get off of mines, like, pressure mines. That is not going to happen if they're being attacked by the tally man. He's not going to sit back and be like, hold up, let me wait for you to finish that. Like, it's just not how that works. So that's what I said before this season even, after episode 1 even started. Like when we were first reviewing it, I was in my feelings that it is a delayed power. And unless she's able to manifest stuff automatically from anywhere, I mean, like Clary did in Shadowhunters, where she's able to pull things out of images or put something, hide something in an image. I don't know. I feel like, and I get it. I'm just gonna be completely transparent. She is a new witch, so her powers are supposed to be limited, and there are supposed to be handicaps. Because I mean, unfortunately, Phoebe was kind of useless in season 1 of Charmed. She could not control her powers. She would get them randomly. Yes, she could do spells and write spells and rhyme and make potions. She wasn't the potion maker, but she could do it. But I feel like her power did not protect her, and she had to learn to fight, and Cole trained her to fight to get more effective. So like, I feel like Kayla's in that Phoebe, in the very, very Phoebe-ish season 1, stage. So I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I'll feel better after I rewatch it. The commercials kept bothering me. I just hate the season is already only 13 episodes. I just want them to be stuffed with things. Fair that. That's true. I will say though, the flow of this episode is light years better than season 3. Light years better. Like we get a little nugget of information and then we get all this fluff and then we go into the next episode and it's like sometimes we would like grow what we saw in season 3 and then sometimes they completely retcon it for no damn reason. So like I feel like at least with these showrunners, they are addressing some major issues and they fix Ruby and Jordan. And I have a feeling they're going to fix other stuff. They're probably going to fix Harry by not giving him as much damn screen time either, which I like. So we'll see. Yeah, it's kind of like the astral time traveler or chroma skimming. Rachel Gray from X-Men has this power. Yeah, Rachel Gray does have that power. I miss Phoenix. I'm still hoping that she eventually gets her time abilities to something similar to Zoom from the comics. I would be down with her being Zoom. That would be cool. I don't like her current abilities. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Because to me, it's just weird to basically be Elsa or Iceman, but it's actually more time evolved. And it's like, that's not, as a comic book nerd, and I know I hate doing this, that's not what that ability is. Just like pyrokinesis is not what that is that it makes me, I'm like, this is not it. I understand the concept. You slow something down to the point of it freezing. You speed something up so fast, moleculars up so fast, the molecules, combust and become fire. I don't care. It's stupid. Give me the time powers back. I don't care. Oh, man. Powers may be too similar. Maggie got her premonition power after Macy's evil sight was gone, kind of like Miss Marvel's power change with Reed coming very soon in MCU. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about with MCU. I did like that she tried to get a premonition when she touched the gas chamber. Yeah. And which is so weird because I mean, in season 3, it looked like she was able to touch the ground and make premonitions happen. And now she's not. I don't know what the hell is happening. I mean, her inception ability is what it is, I guess. But calming down magical creatures and humans is fine. Or making them feel different emotions, like force pushing emotion, basically. Is what it is. But I mean, she should have another ability other than Daredevil's nightstick. I mean, and that's not even an ability. So I don't know. But this is the comment here. I know where Harry disappeared to. He went to Brigerton. I saw that and I just spat my water out. I'm like, that was absolutely hilarious. Does anyone else think that the Charmed ones chose not to create more White Lighters is short-sighted, edited, elitist, and selfish? 2 magical healers in the house, and they don't think other witches may need. Well, maybe they're fixing that with Jordan. Maybe Jordan is the new evolution of White Lighters. I was thinking about that because how you make a White Lighter is kind of barbaric if you think about it. So maybe this is a new way of making White Lighters. He doesn't have teleportation though, which kind of sucks. So I don't know. I would have liked to see her trying all the reverse spells there are. Hate the call Harry on his cell phone. I assumed he isn't tied to them anymore and he can't hear their call. I don't know what's going on with him. It's weird. I don't understand. Like they have not explained the like dynamic of what Harry's role is to them. I mean, isn't he still the White Lighter? And they're almost making me feel like Jordan is the white lighter, like the limited white lighter, but he's there for them more than Harry is, which is interesting. I don't know. I just feel like Harry, I mean, he doesn't even want to be a white lighter anymore. He said it. He lost the love of his life. And he's done. So I don't know. I was disappointed. The power manifested as visions. It could have been cooler to just see her teleport to that place in time and be like, what's going on? Yes, that's what I wanted. I watched half the episode of Charmed to the full. I'm still waiting to know if she's a half white lighter or not. I don't know. We don't know who any of her parents are. Harry hasn't been too involved since Macy's death. Even without her, it is still the Hasty show and just demonstrates why white lighters shouldn't date chargers. He is not involved with his other chargers. Yeah, he's definitely not a good example of a white lighter right now. Hello. Of course, I'm drinking brandy. You drinking brandy? I'm drinking water, but I'm going to pretend just for you that I got something good. I wish I wasn't allergic to alcohol, but I really am. I like hearing Jordan say that he's not a psych major. Yep. I said it last week. And he's not. He was kind of like, I'm tired of dealing with your shiz. I'm like, why do I always have to take care of your problems? I'm not a psychology major. I'm a law student. And right now, I'm the only white lighter you seem to have. That's funny. I love that he's actually come into his own. He's not just the one everybody goes to as like the sidekick. We need Angry Kaide to surface. Well, let's see what happens tomorrow in Nashihime. Yes, I agree, Maria. I'm in love with the new showrunner. So many improvements and developments. Harry did not have time for patience with Kayla. Now she isn't half as hard as Mel was with him. True. Very true. But I mean, again, like I had somebody comment again, I think on the last video, because I guess people get in my feelings or get in their feelings when I say things that are my opinions about things. So I already know this. I learned this a lot with Motherland Fort Salem. Which I've been reviewing that show since season 1, episode 1 premiered. And so when I tell my truth, people get in their feelings. And I guess I offended somebody because they're saying that I was not a Macy lover because I said that Mel and Macy were bitches to each other throughout the seasons, starting with season 1. I don't know why people only see one side, but what I'm starting to realize is if you are a lover of a character, you only see what that character does that's positive. You don't see the negative side. You only see the other person attacking you. And this is what happens in real life too. There's no accountability. So I think it's really funny that, people are like, I just really see that you don't like Macy. And I'm like, but when did I say that? See, this is why you got to be careful with what you say. But in reality, you really don't. Because even when you don't say it, people say you say it. So it is what it is. It's a good thing I don't care. That's how I look at that. That's how I look at it. Okay, so this is where the mic, yes, the mic was on. The Twitter was just in the wrong space, so I do apologize for that. I haven't been able to watch the episode so far, but glad to hear Pickle Man Joey and the new front row shutters are fixing seasons 2 and 3. They are. Love that sword fighting scene. Yeah. Now, I will tell you, they're good with weapons. I'm like, I don't know why. Michaela was picking up that sword technique quickly, too, so I was really impressed with that. I am glad Ruby woke up because she was mind controlled in season 3. Season 2 and 3 of her is so different. I know they weren't even like the same woman. Sounds the same. Your voice just sounds far away. Okay, that's when let me skip down. And then I do apologize. Okay. I'm glad Ruby is actually going to what she feels and not being how she was back in season 3 with her just doing whatever she wants for Mel. I have good hopes for Ruby this time. Me too. I am glad that Kayla's mechanical knowledge is part of her storyline and utilizes and how she sees the world, like how Macy used science. Now, I got to say something really quickly. At the end of season 2 with Ruby, I remember a lot of people were showing me, like linking me to her Instagram, and everybody was somehow excited that she was going to be in the new season and that this whole season was going to be about Mel and Ruby. I don't know if that's still true. I don't know if this is going to be a Mel trying to get her woman back type situation and proving that it's not all about her, or if this is just closure. I don't know how many episodes Ruby is in. But I will tell you something that made me think about this. Seeing Ruby made me wonder if we were ever going to see Swan again. Because Baby Swan is gone. And not only is Baby Swan gone, a lot of the employees seem to be gone because the only person that I keep seeing is the bartender, and they kind of rotate them out in the bar, which makes me question who in the hell is running Safe Space? Question mark. Just saying. Oh, and Mel has a job. Maggie's a student. Kayla does not have a job. So I was going to nitpick something. And my nitpick is, how did Kayla get money to pay for the groceries? She's not working. Just saying. Just saying. Ruby dropped so many truth bombs. The fandom were thinking in season 3 that the character's history in season 2. Come on, season 4. I know. I was like, we should have got this last season. He said, shuck the white lighter crap. Didn't tell the girls bye or anything. I know he really didn't. I swear they listen to us and then read our fan fictions, probably. Harry's being so rough on Kayla. I don't like it. Jordan needs to train her instead. He is taking his anger out on her, and in a way, Maggie is too. Jordan was shading the hell out of Maggie. Jordan should have shaded. He should have shaded the hell out of Maggie. And you're absolutely right. Harry was, but Harry did kind of go drinking with her and then realize it. And he didn't use a potion on her. So I'm happy. Now, I guess the question mark on that is, had he not decided to take the magic mushroom, would he have used that potion on her the next time they got into it and she got on his nerves? That's something I really would like to know. Just saying. I'm glad the director knows what season 3 directors did to Ruby. So I'm glad she's actually coming back to season 2. Ruby, I'm here for it. Yep. She picks the worst times to get drunk. I guess when you're a charm one, there really isn't a good time. You probably get attacked all hours of the day and night. So, but yeah, drinking during the day probably isn't the best idea. Yeah, it's very curious how on point they are about fan feedback after like 1 week of fan and reviewers' comments. I know. That was funny. Harry don't feel with them. He dated Macy and dealt with them, and now they're gone. They're like his dead spouse's family. He probably is. Maria, about how they wrote Ruby. I am so glad they fixed that shit, because season 2 Ruby was fine. I never understood how her and Mel had that conversation on that bridge when they were at the dock or pier, wherever the hell they were. And, Ruby told her straight up, I want nothing to do with the magical world. And then all of a sudden season 3 comes around and they're like U-hauling. And I'm like, what the hell? We never got a closure, any of that. I think Mel mentioned it once and said, I know how you feel about magic. And Ruby was like, oh, no, boo, I'm in it. You my bae. I was like, what? And then all of a sudden, we're getting this. It's like season 2 and season 4 are connected. The only thing missing is Macy, and it's like season 3 was just a waste of time. That's basically how it feels. The only thing that I'm missing is basically from season 3 is Abigail. I actually really liked Abigail's character. I wonder if they're going to bring Macy back because of the fact that Rupert, who plays Harry, is not liking this season, and on top of that, the fans are pretty much saying, bring her back. Really? I was unaware that Rupert didn't like this season. Does he not like the season because it's not all about him? Because it is called the Charmed One, or Charmed, about the Charmed Ones. It's not Harry and the Charmed Ones. This is not Charlie's Angels. I mean, what you can do, Harry, when you're not happy with how a show is going, you can leave. I'm not trying to be mean, but that's your option. I mean, you're not the writer. So yeah, you got a lot of play last season, but I mean, it's not about Harry. It was never supposed to be about Harry. Yes, Hasty was a thing. They were cute. But honestly, Harry overshadowed Macy in that series because Macy was a scientist. She was brilliant. She had all of this stuff going for her, and they completely crapped on that and then made it so she was basically just Harry's bitch. That's basically it. So I'm sorry. I actually am really enjoying what they're doing with this season so far. So sorry, Harry. Ruby was unbothered. Laugh out loud. She had it. Laugh out loud. God bless these directors for fixing season 3. Ruby, she dropped the mic and Mel. I was celebrating once I seen that scene. Everybody was. We were like, hallelujah. I'm like, thank you. The actress is never coming back. We will be Lucy if we get her as much as the Guardian was, unless the Grams did in ghost form. Probably. I will say, Kayla's actress, Lucy, is struggling with her Australian accent. which is interesting. And I think it's cute because I'm pretty sure she's dating Aisha D from the Bold Type, who played Kat. And she's also Australian, but she's mastered the American accent to the point that sometimes she just talks like an American. So I'm wondering if she can like give her pointers, because there are points of every episode she's been in where I'm hearing the Aussie come out a little bit. But you know, she's not doing badly. I just think I just hear it in certain words that she says. I'm glad Jordan finally got some balls. Amen. Jordan's done so much in this show, and this is how you treat him. Yeah, I'm very happy. So, okay, when we say we're happy that Jordan got balls, what we're actually saying is we're happy that he's standing up to the people that keep using the hell out of him. They were using him. Like, Jordan was off trying to do good and law, like in the law clinic, and get through law school. And he kept having to postpone what he's doing to help them. Hell, he solved the curse problem by himself. They didn't help him do that. And that was all him. Jordan had to break his own curse and then help the ass. I'm like, so I am very glad that he's able to. Jordan is a very good character. I am glad that he's finally finding some, like, I guess he's finding his place and realizing that he is there to do more than just be their therapist and their sidekick. He is actually wanting to help people. He's wanting to be a part of the magical community. He has a power now. He can do that. He's a healer. And I mean, I'm here for it. The only thing that Jordan messed up today was he should have never touched that damn bomb by the timer. He knew he didn't know what he was doing. You were a medic. I'm like, did Madeline say she's never coming back? And where did I miss that part? I don't really know. She's living her best life though. So who knows? I like the new aspect added to the stick. Yeah, she's got the Daredevil stick. She has Daredevil stick. Hasty did take over. Look at how useful he is with her gone. Useless drunk. And how involved he is with her sisters not. This is why the elders were right about white lighters. More importantly, he is actually acting more like his previous human self, because his human self was like that: an alcoholic, a drunk, a cheater, a liar. So we'll see. We're gonna see we'll see what he evolves to be, I guess. I mean, yeah, they definitely just gave up. I was like, damn, y'all really suck. I know, right? I'm like, man, they're not even trying. Like, poor Leprechaun. He's like, oh yeah, we tried. We kind of made it worse. We're gonna stand over here and wait for you to die. Sorry, come here, Maggie. Let me hold you so you don't have to see the gore. I'm like, wow. And then how did they get him out? When the confetti came down, did the box just let him out? How did they get him out of the box? And you know what? That's the same damn box they used in season 2? Season 2 of Batwoman. Just saying. Riddle me this. They shouldn't date, and especially not Chargers. Morty fed him Faye. What? Where have I heard that before, Sean? If anything, my random guess for Harry and Macy is that Macy's cameos as a new tree spirit, and Harry somehow joins her as a protector of the tree. Yes, Fern Gully. They're going to be the new Fern Gully. She had major unset drama. You have a better chance of seeing Prue back on season 4 of Charm, Love with Alyssa there. What was the drama, though? I really want to know what the drama is, because I feel bad. Everybody was saying it's because they try to blame it on Poppy, Abigail's actress, saying that, she was getting more screen time than Macy. But, like, I don't feel like there was tension between those two. I don't know what it is. I will say, again, as somebody who is mixed, I thought it was very interesting that all of the really hardcore racist, stuff was coming just to Macy, when also Maggie's mixed, same daddy, same mama, and she got nothing, which is really showing a trend between ambiguous mixed people like me and then, like, people that are more white passing and black passing. But for me, whenever I looked at Macy, she did not look completely black either. She looked like she could be, even though they weren't in real life, her and Maggie both look like they could be, Hispanic. Like, if you look at Macy, she could probably pass for being Afro-Latina. So I don't know. I don't know why she got all those bad stories. I don't know why we saw that with Maggie and didn't see it with Ruby. And Ruby actually is Afro-Latina in real life. We never got to see any of that racism. And then, of course, we have Mel, who's fully Hispanic. We have Maggie, who I guess people are just thinking is full Hispanic. And nobody's giving them racism about anything in Trump America. That was bullshit. So, I mean, there was a lot of problems with that. And on top of that, Where was the interracial marriage hate? Because, I grew up with that stuff. Mama was white, daddy was black and indigenous and looked black, and we got a lot of shit. So, like, why was there no interracial marriage and couple haters in that? You want to be progressive all the way. Don't pick and choose. So if that's why Macy's actors left, I get it. I get it. Just a thing. I thought we were done with the pandemic metaphors on this show. Nope. Heck yeah, more magical creatures in season 4. I am very happy that we are now getting more into the magical world, because I feel like every magical creature all over the world was on sabbatical. I don't know why, but they were just hanging out somewhere. So I don't know. Where was the pandemic? So glad that directors know how to make good work for the show. Favorite episode of this whole show from all the chaos from season 3. Yeah, they're definitely making up for season 3. I'm telling you, it's like they're revamping it. I'm not hating it. I just don't want them to write Abigail out completely, because I think she probably would come back. I don't know. I don't know where her actress is at this time. She couldn't have been saved, Maria. So yeah, like I said, I know on some level, she couldn't have been saved. But you tell me one charm one that's not going to try and save one to the bitter end. Tell me one who's not going to do that. So it's just they gave up. Like Maggie and Jordan gave up on the leprechaun, and when they thought he was about to blow up, and then they gave up on the Lamia, and they were just like standing there staring. It was like they were looking at a creature in the zoo. It was a really weird scene. And she's like, "Take my baby and run. The hell is wrong with you?" Like, Maggie calmed down the leprechaun. Yeah, I remember she used her inception power, but I feel like they keep using her power, but they barely use Mel's. Maybe they just cost too much. I don't know. Which could be fixed by giving her time ability, because as somebody who has a film degree and is a video editor, all you really have to do is stop frame, out the channel, stop frame the channel, freeze it, and literally insert her in on a green screen, and then bam, no money. No money. I can do it in Photoshop. Literally, no joke. I don't know. I don't know why they don't just go with the lesser, cheaper power. The budget people need to make different choices. Need to make different choices is one critique. Big issue in season 2, the power down, and some of their powers are too big on budget cut downs on monster budgets and make less FX. Yeah, well, season 2 was a train wreck, so I mean, it's just what it is. That entire season was hard for me. No magic and a magical show. It was very hard for me. Like the power of 3 was right there. They didn't do anything. Yep. It just further forces down the inexperience these girls have, and you kind of stop rooting for them. I knew somebody was going to say that. And, I was thinking that too. I'm like, you have the power of 3. You are a charmed one. You are potentially the most powerful witches in the whole magical, world. And you just stood there and did nothing. And I'm like, even if they couldn't save her, they didn't try. That's what's so weird. They're like, no, nothing to do. She's about to blow up. What if it was one of them? What if they start ticking? Are they gonna be like, well, we had a good run, can't do anything? If it's one of them, and then they magically figure out how to teleport this ticking thing out, or they magically figure it out like right then in that 1 5 minute or 10 or 2 minute, however long it takes to blow up that little interval, I'm gonna be in my feelings, because you found it to save each other, main character insurance, but you couldn't do it to save one of the magical creatures. That's gonna make me upset. So I don't know. Like, damn, y'all can't even save innocence. John's not having night. They have a charmed one, but they can't utilize the power of 3. We are at season 2A with this again. True. That is true. We're getting so much bonding time this season, and we nearly got any in the last 2 seasons with their real half sister, or technically sister and a half sister. You're right. You're absolutely right. I liked how Kayla trolled Harry. I did too. He didn't. That was actually really funny though. Prue didn't want to come back. Plus, they made it clear that she wasn't welcome back. At least with Madeline, they said she was always welcome back. But did they just say that as a statement? Because, sometimes they PC everything. Because they also said that with Ruby Rose. And then Ruby started complaining about what happened on the Batwoman set. And then everything went crazy. And then the real feelings started coming out. So there's a little PR PC statement that people put out. So we won't know the real deal until there's an autobiography or one of them talks in the future. Harry using the potion was so problematic. If he did it would be 1,000 times worse than Willow with the memory spells on Tara. Yep, in their relationship, we're taking consent, date rape, and etc. Yeah, that's why I was hoping he was not gonna do that crap. He was gonna make her a Stepford wife, and I was gonna be very upset with that. This is why I said 2 out of 5 stars. Like, how y'all letting innocents die, not using spells or potions, going after innocent magical creatures? What the hell is this show? My OG feelings are raging. Yeah, see, I felt that way. Then I had to remember this is not the OG Charmed. This is a whole other iteration. It's a multiverse. These are the Charm ones on Earth 2. So, not Prime Earth Charm ones, Earth 2. So they are still learning. They're learning how to be Charm ones, which is kind of sad to say 4 seasons in, but unfortunately, it's what we got. Because I mean, to be fair, 4 seasons into OG Charmed, they were much more advanced, but. It is a thing. National Lampoon, Harry's Multiverse Vacation. Yes. Macy can relate to Kayla because it's season 1. Maggie talked her into signing up for a dating app, and Macy went and got snatched and put into a cocoon, and they had to save her and kill the queen. Yep. There's a lot of stuff. And besides, I love season 1, but there's a lot of things that happened in season 1 that when Harry made that statement, I'm like, did you understand what happened in the beginning of their Charmed adventure? You were there. Why are you putting all this heat on this girl is new? And she didn't even know she had powers. And, these girls were messing up all the time. And you're like, it'd be all right. I'm like, okay. I'm glad more bond episodes between the characters. Solo and split missions is what got Macy killed. The OG girls stayed within range, especially on missions until they weren't. And then Prue died. Yeah. And OG Charm, they saved a lot of people. And in this one, they don't really save innocents unless they actually know the person or something. Yeah, like I said, I need them to get back to that whole method of creature of the week. The season 1 method where they were saving people weekly. I hated that. Like I said, my all-time favorite Even Now episode is always the Medusa episode. He would be cute for Kayla. Yeah, I think this new character is going to be cool. But we'll see what happens. We're going to see. Kayla is going to date that hot incubus guy singing. Of course she is. That's why they had that moment in the bathroom or at the when she was going to the bathroom. I already made my peace with Abby not coming back. I was just hoping they didn't push Ruby and Mel as a perfect couple after how they were written, but I am down for a new love interest. I am too. I want them to also give us closure with Jada and Nico. I still don't understand it because Nico in season 1, near the end of season 1, she did everything she could with no memory to investigate why she couldn't remember her life, why she felt this connection to Mel, all of this stuff. And so as a detective, you would think that Nico would be 100% curious as to why her ex-girlfriend, who never came back, she didn't have closure with, she waited for her at that little cafe and showed up and then disappeared on her, was pronounced dead in season 2 for almost a whole season, and then all of a sudden is revived and living life in Seattle. And like, you're not going to be curious about what went down. Why did the house disappear? Why did it burn down? Why did they tell me, why would we believe you were dead? Nico never followed up on that. And then where the hell is Jada? Jada's half white lighter, half witch, and she only left because she was scared of Fiona. I mean, Fiona's dead or gone. So like, what's the point? So like, it's just weird. I really wish they had followed up because that never made sense to me. Like the people that they were really close with never followed up. At least with Maggie, when she went back to the dorm, they had like a tribute wall for her when they still thought that she was dead. But I mean, these are 2 women who were really into Mel, and Nico was like gaga into her. And you mean to tell me she didn't want to know what happened, realizing her girlfriend or her ex-girlfriend is not dead? I don't know. It's very weird. Maggie was really hurt, and hurt people. I agree with that. Like I said, grief is weird, but I mean, the fact that she is hurting people is a problem because she's a charm one. Yes, bring Abby back. If Abby was still here, she would have said yes when Mel proposed. Well, she would have proposed. You know that. Abby would be like, you're going to marry me. Like, we're just going to get married. I think the OG Phoebe's premonitions primarily helped them with innocence, but Maggie seemed to be more personal related. True. No, the episode after next week says Maggie has court-ordered anger management. Oh, so she's going to get arrested. Yes. You know what? I'm loving the realism here. I'm loving this. If this was another show like the Arrowverse or another CW show, nothing would have come to pass. If this was season 2 or 3 of Charmed, nothing would have come to pass. So the fact that she's going to have court-ordered anger management, and that's going to go on her record. Wow. This is getting good. This is getting good. I'm glad that that's all he did with Maggie. I got a pit in my stomach and thought it was going to get darker than that. I'm glad that's all he did, and I'm glad she took back her agency. With the guy? Yeah. Oh, I had no, he's not going to be able to do anything to her. She has inception ability, but she beat the hell out of him. Again, I haven't been able to watch season 4 so far because life, but I do like the sound of where they are taking Maggie because of how much she has changed from season 1's Maggie. I agree with that. I like that they're showing more layers, but okay, so this is my other thing, guys, and I've always stressed this. Charm is absolute shit when it comes to dealing with mental health issues. Like, I don't know what it is. I love that we learned that Maggie went to therapy after Macy died, but it's like they took her panic disorder completely away. I have generalized anxiety disorder. Actually stems from another medical condition, but it's triggered. So my stuff doesn't go away. I'm lucky if I don't get it, but it doesn't go away. It's just something that it's hard and you learn to live with. But like, we have not seen her have a panic attack since like the middle of season 3. And they just stopped. Like, they just went away. And that is not how that works. It's not how that works. So yes, she is angry, but anger is literally, it runs parallel to stress and anxiety. So she should be having anxiety attacks all the time, and she's not having any. So I don't know about you guys. I don't know if anybody in this chat or anybody who sees this future-wise has an anxiety disorder. But if you do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It does not work the way Charmed writes it. And then, of course, the whole scene with Abigail basically being suicidal and them basically saying, all right, live your best life. Basically, they do not write mental health correctly in this series. So I'm just putting it out there because it irritates me. I mean, just saying. Maria, after Prue's death, Piper's powers were on the fritz. She was literally pointing at things and not knowing if she was freezing or blowing it up. Maggie is okay. Maggie is not a fury like Piper. I agree with that. I'm always trying to see, because I always say I'm going to do this. Maybe I should do this. I'm going to do this, guys. Since I have you guys here, I am going to do this. So bear with me as I do this. I'm scooting my chair across the room because we always talk about season 1 of this show. So I am just going to do this so you guys see. And then I'm going to scoot back because I can. And it's my house. Do you see this? Camera-wise, do you see this? This is the Book of Shadows. And inside the Book of Shadows is every episode, including spells. There are different spells in the Book of Shadows because I have the Book of Shadows, which means I have the entire Charmed series. I've had this for a very long time. It is my Bible. Now, I forget stuff all the time, but I have it. So the reason that I am showing you that is that whenever somebody tells me or reminds me of something, I'm going to insist you tell me the episode so I can go check it out. Because now, as for Prue and Piper's powers were on the fritz even when they were evolving. Because she started blowing stuff up. Remember, guys? She was blowing stuff up like when she thought she was freezing stuff, and then she was freaking out. So she was having that issue when her powers were evolving. And see, we have a super chat. Awesome. So I will get to that in a second. But like, I really, and like I said, I agree with you. And Maggie is not a fury like Piper. That was a very good episode, by the way. But I just, again, I'm just going to bring this back to realism. I feel like the Charm series were basically more 90s, early 2000s. And then this series is today. And there's a lot of stuff going on today that are so, like, the social climate here is just so more progressive than it was when Charm came out. So, like, they can't get away. They could never get away with the stuff we talk about now back in the OG times. Never. Like, mental health issues. LGBTQ. I mean, come on. How many times have you guys heard me in my Charm review saying, as a queer woman, I love Charm, but they were behind the ball because LGBTQ did not exist, and they lived in they lived literally in San Francisco, which has one of the biggest pride parades and communities in the country. It doesn't make any damn sense. So yeah, I get that, but Maggie's anger management, her anxiety disorder, her grief, these are all realistic things that we can relate to, but it's all depending on how it's written. And right now I'm okay because they're doing the anger. The only thing that I think that they haven't caught on, and I don't know if they're just trying to retcon that from season 3, but I feel like they're getting rid of her anxiety disorder, and I don't like it because it was a part of her. It made her unique. A Charm one that has anxiety or panic disorder is just like one of my favorite Green Lanterns, Jessica Cruz, who has PTSD and anxiety disorder. She still has to go out and fight. She still has to be the hero of the day, but she is not one to say. She even told her partner, you know, you're telling me to calm down. I have PTSD and general anxiety disorder. You're lucky I'm here. So I love that. And I will seriously be in my feelings if they get rid of that. I'm just putting that out there. I'm off my soapbox now. I feel like Mel was like this with Nico and Ruby. The only love interest that checked her was Jada and Mel, and they were more submissive in that dynamic. I feel like that's true. I feel like Nico was not submissive because Nico made the choice to break up with Mel in season 1 of the show because she was angry, remember, about her mother dying and nobody believing her when she said she didn't think it was an accident. So I felt like that is something that came to pass. But I can see how people would think that Mel is the dominant one because she is. She's an activist. She's very outspoken and pretty much knows what she wants, and she wants what she wants. And if you don't give her what she wants, then you're not worth her time, basically. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. I'm living for this new season. I can't wait to see this episode. Yeah. Is it coming on at 1 for you? So I'm on Central Standard Time. So I got to record it and DVR it. It comes on at 7 p.m. where I am on Xfinity. So I guess I have to realize that some people just don't get it ahead of time, and I apologize. Let me move down. I feel like Abigail checked her too, but without Mel completely being submissive about her traits. I think Abigail is not submissive. If they're in a relationship, Abby's the dom. She's the top of that relationship. It's just what it is. Mel can bitch and whine. It doesn't matter because Abigail can do it right back. And she was snarky and sarcastic, and she could pull out insults about Mel like that, and it was absolutely hilarious. Mel is getting her time powers back. Will make her so OP because with Piper, she got new powers like combust, and now Mel will have time, human touch, and ice power. She'll be a comic book character, and she'll be a character from Doctor Who. I am here for it. A flashback episode that would be dope, but we might like the old Charm ones better than Maggie and Mel. I automatically love Kayla. Her energy is the best thing in season 4. She's real. She reacts really like authentically to me. I love it. Hearing that, I thought about Melinda. Then how the heck is she even with, in the Vera tome? Yep, if Charm ones came way before. Like when they opened their Book of Shadows, she was on the first page in season 1. So I don't know why they're not mentioning her. It's really weird. And then what's the purpose of Melinda Warren having her own section if these 3 girls are the original Charm ones? It's very interesting. I don't know. I'll take any lore on previous sets of Charm ones. I would too. I would love to see a lot of I would love to have like little flashbacks, minis. They don't even have to be like a whole episode. They could do like little CW, like YouTube, like shorts. You know how Star Trek did shorts and some other like series do shorts, and just have like this Charm, like a little segments of Charm ones. I think that would be cool as shit. It would be cool for the first Charm ones named to be Ocean, Umoja, and Oya. Yeah. Hey, I would love to have like Charm ones from every, form of magic, every culture, every ethnicity. I think that'd be very cool. Did you see the Power Rangers versus Godzilla comic? Joe was telling me about it. I have not yet, but I heard it is amazing, so I will be checking that out. I was happy when Mel got her time powers back, only for it to be short-lived, and they took them away again. I hope that she gets them back soon, and this time it's for good. They never even explained why the baby made her have time abilities, which is interesting. I don't know what that was about. Phoebe was useless season 1. I mean, it's true. Did anyone recognize the actor who was portraying the Tallyman? I kept trying to figure it out. Because I do this stream right after the episode ends, I don't ever have a chance to just really, stare at it. But again, the reason that I do that is Saturdays are very hard for me. I have a lot of streams. I have Yashahime. I have, the Owl House. I actually have a voiceover gig. So, and I have an acting class tomorrow night. And I will tell you what's going on with Kung Fu. I know I was supposed to post those 2 episodes, but I will explain that in a second, guys. I was kind of wait till the end of our stream to talk about what's happening next, our next steps. Tokager, in my opinion, has the best Tokers, in my opinion, has the best answer as to why they don't get attacked during transformation. Oh, Tokager, okay. White train tracks split the Rangers from the monsters, and the monsters get hurt if they attack. Okay, I love that you did that because I have the henshin device, and I also have all the trains from Tokager because I also love it. I told you guys I'm a nerd. I collect it, but I have all of it. I have orange, yellow. I have all of their trains. So, and I have not. I'm gonna do an unboxing because I do have their henshin bracelet. I haven't had a chance to unbox it yet, but I have it. I also have Go Kaiser's behind me. I have Magi Ranger behind me. Their henshin device. I also have the Magi Ranger staff with all of their crystals. So I'm a Sentai nerd, have been for 20-something years. So you are speaking my language. Imagine if she was able to manifest things with her mind, but she has to say the object to make it work like Paige. If that happened, she would almost be more OP than Paige. She would be more OP than Paige. She would absolutely. She can manifest things into existence. That is OP as hell. like Paige has to physically call for something. And, Michaela would never have to do that. Michaela could literally sit there and be locked in a cage and then say key. And then the key just appears out of nowhere. There may not even be a key. She can manifest a key based on how the lock is. That's OP. That would be problematic because she's the middle, age-wise, she's middle. Maggie's still the youngest. It's usually the older one that's OP, but they're going against everything in this thing. So technically, if Kayla's not really a sister, I guess they can do whatever the hell they want. So never mind. Harry is done. He needs to be done. He won't be back to himself until Macy comes back. So we're done with Harry, I guess. We should bring back Jimmy. The dark lighter should be the new white lighter. No, Piper had the power of immobilization, then rapid acceleration, and then inhibition. Mel has her last 2 powers so far, so hopefully she can manipulate molecules to immobilization like Piper's. But see, again, that is the thing. I don't want her to have Piper's powers. I want her to be the time witch, the true definition of a time witch that she was in season 1. That's what makes her different. She does not need to be a copy or a reimagined copy of Piper. That is not what we're doing. This show has done a good job of trying to differentiate itself from the OG series. For good or bad, it's trying to make its own thing. By you copying these powers, you're basically putting yourself back in the OG scope, but you're doing it in a way that doesn't make sense. So I don't want that. I want her to be a time witch. I love that she was a time witch. I want her to have her time powers back. That's how I feel. Fort Salem needs to hurry up and come back. I am mad when Shadowhunters got really good. It ended. Same thing happened with Fort Salem because this is Fort Salem's last season. They've already canceled it. Last I remember, you never said that about Macy. No, I've never said anything about Macy that I didn't like Macy. I just called her out, and I call all of them out. I'm like, I don't know why people think that I'm like not objective. I will call everybody out for bad behavior. Like, I think that people that don't actually follow me on some of my other reviews or don't listen to me talk about, especially in Arrowverse, all my Arrowverse people in here, I will call you out regardless of what character you are. I do not care. You know why? These are imaginary people. I don't own allegiance to them. Yes, I like them. Yes, I get I'm really supportive and saying team whatever character, but at the end of the day, they're not real. So when they do that, they do things, I call them out. That's what reviews are for. They're not basically to just make people that have their favorite ships feel better. They're actually to be objective. And so I think that's what people have lost in the terms of reviewing. It's just very sad. What's wrong with people? You can have objective opinions about people or things you like and have nuances to views. Yeah, I know that there are people that follow me that probably don't agree with some of the things that I say, and that's fine. And I don't agree with some of the things that people are saying. It doesn't matter. It's good to have perspective. Like I said this all the time. I think the Turnout has said this a few times too. Me and him, I love working with him. I love doing reviews with him. We don't agree on what we like about Charmed. We don't have the same favorites. We don't have our theories on what could happen. Sometimes they align. Sometimes they're way off. So, I mean, it's just what it is. You can have different opinions, but that is the beautiful thing about having many review sites is that you can go to different YouTube sites and listen to their channels and listen to their reviews and get their perspectives. It's just what it is, but people get in their feelings. I don't know what it is. It's really, really weird. Hi, Maria. I haven't watched the episode yet, but I'm going to later. Glad I'm able to catch your chat reaction live. Hi, D. Marie. I am happy that you are here too. Waiting for them to bring back the warlocks. Seriously. I'm just happy we're getting magical girl creatures right now. Their sword fighting scene reminded me of season 4 when Cole was training Phoebe with swords in the basement. Yep. True that. That is very true. I remember Maria and I bumped heads once, but still able to have an opinion on things is healthy. Yeah. And I don't even see it as bumping heads. We just have a different opinion. It's just what it is. I'm not going to take it personally unless you come at me and call me a B and then I have to do the Maggie on you like she did when I got in the alley or outside that restaurant or bar, wherever the hell he was. Because, you'll get canceled then. I don't care if you disagree with me. You are completely within your right to have your own opinion because you know what? I'm not trying to give you a potion to change your mind. It's fine. You don't have to agree with me. Oh, sorry. I'm loving the season so far. I am too. Agreed on Macy's differences though throughout the season. Season 1 was my favorite. Yeah, she is brilliant and they dumbed her down. I don't want to say they dumbed her down. They just didn't let her be herself. Her whole life became about Harry. It was weird. It was very weird. She went to pick up her last check. They better not get rid of Baby Swan. Speaking of fanfic, did you get the link I sent you of a charm fanfic called Chosen? The 3 characters have similar backstories and powers as these girls. Coincidence fanfic came out 2017. Where did you send it? If you did not send it to Maria Amelia Park on Instagram, like direct message, I probably won't see it. So definitely do that. And I'll say, if I didn't see it, if it was in an email, I'm sorry. Left out season Harry was putting power alarms on Mel's wrist and Kayla just voiced her opinion and she is worse. Yep. Yep. I cannot wait what Ruby's going to do next. I don't know if, is she going to be guest starring a lot? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Ruby. I've never been happier for Ruby when she told Mel the relationship was all about her. Amen. To that part and can have more conversations on IG because I have a lot to unpack on that. Well, you can follow me. My Instagram is below and I do respond to direct messages. So definitely do that. And also I try to get in the comment section here, but I have so many videos and so many comments. Sometimes I can't do it, but I try. I really try. And I do read all of them. I just don't always have time to answer them all. So if you see me liking and loving them, I've read them. So I just haven't had a time because sometimes I have to write out paragraphs and I'm like, I don't have time. I really don't. Harry in Charmed is like P. Diddy and his bad boy label. Why is the manager at all the videos in the front? You were so right. That's a really good analogy, actually. I agree, Maria. This is not the Harry show. This is the Charmed One show about 3 fine-looking ladies. Exactly. That's exactly what it's called. I don't know. That's probably why Harry wants to be in there because it's about 3 fine-looking ladies. Yeah, it's called Charm for a reason, that Harry, because mostly for season 3 it was focused on Harry because on this journey not being a white lighter, then season 3 finale he becomes a white lighter again. I kind of feel like a majority has always been about Harry. Season 1 had a little bit, but season 2 onward, he was just there. And if he really is not liking where this show is going, it's probably because he's not the focus. And if that's really what it is, then that's effed up. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know him from Adam. And I will watch him in Bridgerton because I watched the first season. But am I 120% convinced that he is not in his feelings, that he's not the main, character of this? No, he could be in his feelings about it. He could have had a very good relationship with the last showrunners, and that's why they gave him so much. And now that they're gone and he's learning his place in the show, he may be unhappy. I don't know. Jordan is the main reason they have powers again, having their aura stripped Maggie and his ring. He helped Abby with her family and is the only reason Harry has his powers back. True. Something else I was thinking about, I don't know if you guys caught on to this. You guys realize that Harry is the only white character right now in the entire show. It could also play a role of what's wrong with him. Because at least last season he had Abigail. The last 2 seasons. Season 1 he had Parker. And the villains, of course, Alistair and them. There's everybody's a person of color. There's everybody in the cast is a POC but him. So I'm wondering if that's the problem. I'm just throwing it out there. Speculation. Don't shoot me. This is just me talking out of my ass. So just something I thought about. Supposedly, Melania Diaz has issues with the actress who plays Macy. Mel had a problem with Macy. That actually tracks because I don't think they follow each other on Instagram, or they weren't. I don't know. There's a lot from Macy's camp saying she didn't like the show's emphasis on Poppy and her life over the POC main cast. Something recently also came out that on set they weren't too strict of Macy stopped following Mel on Instagram, but Mel still follows her. Supposedly Melanie wanted more Latino influence on the show, but who knows the truth. That's a hard one, guys. Because I've said from the beginning, for me, because I'm a mixed person, I always have imposter syndrome. So like if I play an all black, even in voiceovers, if I have an all black character side, I feel guilty that I'm taking it from somebody who's fully monoracially black because they have to have representation. And then why? Look at me. You know what I mean? So like I feel bad, but then I don't want to be a fully indigenous character because I'm not fully indigenous either. And I'm absolutely not fully white. So then what do I do? And for Mel, this show was advertised as Latina. Let's not forget that. If you go back and Google the first show announcement before they even cast this show, there were going to be 3 Latina women, 3 sisters, Latina sisters. They cast one, and then they cast 2 women who are mixed like me that don't even have Hispanic or Latina background. They're not. They are white and black. And then I think, like I always say this, Maggie's the same mix as me. She's indigenous black and she's white. So I don't know. It would be hard. Let's just put it that way. If I was full Latina or Hispanic and then I realized that that's what was going on and I'm literally the token Latina, outside of Josefina now when she comes in. But yeah, I got 2 girls, and the show up to season 3 pretending to be Latina. And then we're all about cultural appropriation. There's a lot to be said about that. I'm sorry. There really is. We can't play this game when we talk about our black sides and then we don't talk about it with our Hispanic sides and our Asian sides and everybody else. It is cultural appropriation across the board. It just is. Hollywood's doing it. I don't blame any actors. So don't go back saying Maria said this. I'm just saying that is truth. It is something that happens all the effing time. It happens all the time. Case in point, I'm going to get off my soapbox in a minute. I am in love with the show called Station 19. It's one of Shondaland's favorites. But there are 2 characters that are mixed in there. 3 characters that are mixed, sorry. There's one who's half white and half Korean. There's one that's half black and half Polish. And they just introduced one who is half black and half Korean. The 2 that are half black and half Korean and half black and half Polish are just black. The one who is half Asian and half white is mixed. Please, somebody effing explain that to me. So there's a lot of problems with casting, with generalizing, with labeling. So if Mel is in her feelings about wanting to have more Latina representation on a show that's supposed to be that, I mean, I can't get mad at it. I really can't. I'm gonna be real. If it had been advertised as 3 Nigerian, sisters or 3 Korean sisters or whatever, and then they cast somebody who wasn't Asian and somebody who wasn't black, and I'm speaking as somebody who loves their blackness. Don't make this something. We would be fighting. We'd be saying shit. But they cast 2 mixed girls that pass. We pass. And it's fine. So yeah, off my soapbox, but that if you want to know more about how I feel about stuff, go look at my Mixed by Genetics, and then on this channel, what I think I have other stuff in regards to that because we talk about that a lot. It is problematic as hell. So, but again, this is all Hollywood. This is not the actor's fault. Actors need to work. They need to make that money. There's no reality where an actor is not going to turn down that money and that exposure. It's just becomes a question of should you or should you not have? And unfortunately, nobody can answer that but yourself. So that is what that is. All right. So let me move down. Because we all about this life. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to get through all these questions. I'm trying. Let's see. Okay, I think I skipped one. I might have to go back up. I wonder if Madeline or Poppy both have decided to leave if they knew the other was leaving. I mean, did Poppy decide to leave? Did she just up and say, hey, I'm out? Because I know Macy decided to leave. Madeline was like, I'm out. And she's not doing bad. I heard she's like doing West End. She's doing her stuff. I mean, it's not like she's hurting, is what I'm saying. So like, did she decide to up and leave because of all this drama? And again, these are all rumors, word of mouth, little snippets that they are saying. We don't know what happened because we're not there. I don't want to speculate and say, oh my God, this is racism. Oh my God, this is why she left. I understand it, because you will have those people that will go to bat and they never step one damn foot on that soundstage. So like, I am not going to sit there and say that this is what was going on, because I don't work for Charmed. I am not in their production studios. I am not part of their film crew. I am not part of their admin staff. I don't know what the hell happened on that show. So, I mean, all I can do is what people tell me, and then it goes into a bucket of question mark. I'm not going to make that into something valid because I have no idea. I just don't. Let's see. I heard that she might have left because of the racism they put on her character, and she wasn't happy about the writing in the show, and I can't really blame her if that's the real reason. I will say this. The racism she was just getting solely was bullshit. I mean, it really was, especially when you got a lot of POCs. Everybody experiences racism. Like, it was only Macy. I'm like, Macy, you are the token person to be attacked in this show. She should have been in her feelings that Harry was getting all her damn spotlight. That's what she should have been. There were 4 charm ones, and there were not 3. So it's a thing, I guess. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure. I know, I'm sorry. Trying to make sure I didn't skip anything else. I'm reading it really quickly. Okay, we got that one. Got that one. Okay, I think we are right here. Mel's character is having the same problem with the budget and her power as Nate on Legends on Jade. And Jade on Stargirl. Yeah, I hate when they introduce really powerful people and then they can't really afford to do it. They should just leave it for DCEU and HBO. Maria, if it were one of them about to blow up, they would just do a montage spell to all these hits, like with Macy. Ray, what is wrong with you? I'm still here just listening. Awesome. I could PR agent would keep the real dirt under wraps as much as they could. Of course. Like, we still don't know if Ruby was telling the truth about on the Batwoman set about all the stuff she was saying. But I will say this. I've heard a lot of rumors from a lot of different sets that the CW were slave drivers. So I don't know. And Mel wanted to be the new elders, wanted to be the new elders and be in charge. They hardly ever get involved with the magical community unless a witch is in danger or they trip into trouble 90% of the time. Yeah, they were supposed to be like the new elders at the end of season 1, but then season 2 came along and we're like, meh. Didn't Nico marry Greta? We don't know, because Mel broke them up. Remember, like at the end, like Nico was talking to her. So if she went back to Greta, then I feel bad for Greta, because Greta was second choice. And that means that Nico was actually using her. Because let's not forget, Nico cheated on Greta to be with Mel in the first damn place. So not once, but technically twice. So I hope she didn't. She didn't get. Greta got suspicious of Nico, and it led to their breakup. Yeah, I think it happened both times. Because when she got her memory back, she did it again. So, Ray Alexander, I remember the wedding supposed to happen until Mel told her the truth about what happened in her life and went to a mental coma. Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. You learn to cope and live with it and go to therapy. Therapy teaches you how to cope. Like, therapy does not fix you. Therapy is not meant to be the magical cure. It's meant to help you help yourself. And so it helps you to cope with things that seem so big and like this insurmountable weight on you, and how to break it down so it's not as heavy, and then how to deal with things and look at things from different perspectives. That is what therapy is for. And I'm pro therapy. So that is a thing. Thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. You are awesome. Cow. Did I say your, is it Cow? Cow. I butcher names. I'm so sorry. I've been where Mel was, and mine did the exact same thing. Oh, really? So you had the same experience? You asked your ex to get married, and they smiled at you and said no? That's effed up. I am so sorry. Yes. That's a nice book. Thank you. Thank you. It's a nice book. I got it. So look, if they don't have a book of shadows, I do. Just saying. Yes, I did call out Jessica Cruz. That's my girl. I love Jessica Cruz. Like, Jessica Cruz is my all-time favorite, and then my second is Jon Stewart. It's always been Jon Stewart and Jessica Cruz. I don't care about Hal Jordan. Kyle Rayner is also on my list. My previous spouse, really before the passing, because then my previous spouse died of cancer too, was a big Kyle Rayner fan, and I have so many Kyle Rayner. I inherited all of my previous spouse's comic books on top of all the ones that I had. I have a shit ton of Green Lantern comics, and I have a lot of Kyle Rayner, like, you know, I have the refrigerator girl issue. Let's put it that way. So I'm not a Kyle Rayner hater, but I do love, my favorites are always going to be Jessica Cruz and Jon Stewart. And Jon Stewart showing up Batman in that one issue is my all-time favorite Jon Stewart moment. Jessica Cruz and now Jordan Kent, superpowers of mental health is still moving forward. In the comics, yep. I think they watch the CW replay when they upload the episodes to watch. I would love for them again. I think CW should take advantage of Charmed and do Charm shorts. You know, like it could be like Charmed Weekly or whatever, or Charm Spell of the Week, and it's basically our Tall Tales of Charm, something to that matter. You know, where it's just like they show a little past history of the Charmed, you know, ones. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know. I got to rewatch it because I was working from home. True that. I loved Abby. She kept Mel evolving. I absolutely loved her. I heard they won't be talking about Melinda, but I did hear that they might in season 5 and how they're related in the book. I hope they get a season 5. They have not announced if they're renewed for season 5 yet. I heard. We'll have to go back and see. Maria, I've been where Mel was at mentally and physically, emotionally. A girl who I love broke my heart into pieces. And I never forgave her for it and never talked to her. Well, this is why I'm glad that she reached out, because I think Ruby was willing to talk to Mel originally, but I think Mel threw her out. That's what I think happened. And then Mel texted her and said, I want to talk about it now. So we'll see. Lafayette, you mean to tell me this? I can't say Brujeria Grimoire. I can't say Brujeria. You know, I can't speak Spanish, guys. Can I call it Bruji? Bruji Grimoire had a Caucasian colonist in it from Puerto Rico. Come on, writer. That doesn't happen. Let me make it make sense. Yeah. Melinda Warren, if you go back to the pilot episode, she was on the first page. I was like, wow. I think the difference between Maggie and Piper is that Piper was sad, but she was masking it while hunting demons. Maggie, on the other hand, is angry. Yeah, she has anger management issues right now. All of her grief has turned into aggression. So that is a problem. That dude deserved it. He deserved a smack, but I don't know if pounding him almost to death is the answer. So Maria, I like all your treasures. That dedication. Oh, I have so many. I need to stop. Actually, I have a problem. Have you seen season 2 of Dino Fury? Yeah, I'm watching it now. I saw that they dropped it on Netflix. And honestly, there's a prom. I'm at the prom episode, and I already have a problem. I have a problem with Izzy. I'm like, already. I mean, girl, you were the only queer representation we have on the TV version of Power Rangers, and why do they write you like this? Like, stupid. Watch OG season 4 episode 3. Thank you. I will definitely do that. Maggie F that dude up. Yes, yes, and yes. Cool. Maria's in her feelings. Angry grandma is back for a minute. I mean, does she ever go away? Really? I don't know. Shout out to Eloy. We love Eloy. Let's see. I hope this plug of her time power use from last season goes forward with the current season for a purpose like Prue season 3, trying to move things in her astral form. We never got to see it. That I've always wanted to see if she could do that. You're right. I don't think. Did she ever? No, she was never able to actually physically move stuff in her astral project. That would have been very cool to see. So I agree with that. There were so many stories I think they wanted to tell with Prue and they didn't get to. And I think that that's bad. So. You send it on Twitter. That is the problem. As you see, the reason I don't have a lot of followers or a lot of content on Twitter is I barely use Twitter. I'm more on IG. So if you send it through IG, I will definitely get it. So it's in the link below. Just a regular out. And now that I know that you did that, though, I will check. But just future reference, definitely send everything through IG and just direct message me. Is Charm getting canceled? I don't know. The problem that I'm having is, so like, I don't know what's happening with I don't know if it's a merger or buyout or whatever's happening with the CW is throwing a lot of stuff off. at first it was COVID. Now it's like, what do we do? Like, are we waiting to see if they're going to have budget, whoever buys it, to renew these shows? I don't know. I will say though, they renewed The Flash for season 9, and that is very CG heavy. And they also renewed Superman and Lois for season 3. So we know those 2 shows got it. And Superman and Lois is also very CG heavy and has a bigger budget than mostly every Arrowverse show. So I don't know. I don't know if Charm, honestly though, because Charm really should save them money. They don't use powers half the damn time. So I mean, I'm hoping that they get a season 5 because the track they're going with season 4 is giving me hope that it's going to be very kick-ass. But I don't know. So we'll have to see where it is. So fingers crossed we will get a season 5. So that's what they call it now, doing the Maggie mercenary. Hi, Maria. I'm a silent supporter and I love your take on the show. Thank you. I've always been confused with the show's treatment of Mel's powers. Piper's powers were molecular manipulation, slowing down and speeding up molecules to either freeze or blow things up. Yep, and Mel was the definition of a time witch. But not anymore. Mel is pretty much a time witch since she literally stopped time, unlike Piper. Yep. And was able to move through time, and was able to accelerate and decelerate things. Like she held a potion, instead of waiting for it to get done, she could just hold it and then make it speed up. So I love that. I hate they took that from her. I think the actor who plays Harry would be a good Charles Xavier bald. Really, what do you think? Yeah, or a good Onslaught. Do you think they took Harry out to have the girls focus on their bond to bring back the power of 3? Possibly. I do love that Kayla says family dinner. I don't think they've ever said family dinner the past 3 seasons. So I mean, they were all family. So I don't know. He has Mr. Tallyman. Maybe Harry is Mr. Tallyman. Has all the elders were white except Marisol, Priyanka, and some random black lady they had face covered up. Yep. But technically, Ray, he doesn't have Mr. Tallyman because Harry's off at Bridgerton now. But this whole time he's been by himself. So they used to think Piper was a time witch, but her power is limited to specific locations, even in season 2. Yet when they time traveled and her range was increased, she couldn't still freeze time. Yep. I mean, that's not what her ability is. Though I do wonder if her mother, she had the same powers as her mother, but it would have been really cool if her mother actually was a time witch and then she got like a modified version of that. Mel's original power from her aura was time-based. The new power she has with her new aura from the Black Amber is molecular, which is stupid. Just stupid because Macy got her telekinesis back. Yeah, I don't want to make it feel like one representation is worth more, but if the rumors are true about the drama, it's not just one side at fault. I agree with that. No, trust me. That's the thing. And we say this, I say this all the time. And when it comes to this country specifically, BLM is needed because she's crazy. But we need to stop. We need to stop not being allies for each other, because when we're not allies for each other, then nobody else is going to be our ally. And I really feel that everybody has to have a voice. And if somebody's saying they wish that their culture was represented, had more representation, then that should be something that is heard and understood. We can't play this game of the hierarchy of POC-ness. It is all bad. Yes, it is something that happens a lot. Sometimes some cultures or nationalities are POC-dom. I like to do my little nicknames. Have a little bit more of a struggle in this country. Sometimes the struggle is real. Like me having on my POC side, I always tell you the major 3, but I have Asian, I have Bengali, I have a bunch of stuff in me that, I know nothing about. It's all ancestral and through my, family. But like the primary ones, the Black and the Native American, 2 of the ethnicities in this country and technically cultures that are treated very much like shit. The only difference is with my Black side, there was a movement. With my indigenous side, nobody gives a shit. I'm like, it's just what it is. And I never understood that. And so we need to be allies and understanding the struggles for each other. So that's why I brought that up when Mel was like, I want to have more, Latino representation, on this show, because it was advertised that way when she auditioned for it. That holds true to me because they don't really, yes, she speaks Spanish sometimes. Yes, Josefina brings in a little Puerto Rican culture, but they don't. They absolutely don't talk about anything that is primarily more. They're supposed to be Puerto Rican. They don't really delve into that. So it makes no sense. But to be fair, they don't delve into anything. Maggie isn't even looking at her black side. She knows nothing about that side because Dexter didn't raise her. So, I mean, I'm being my soapbox. And as for Madeline is mixed. She is half white and half Caribbean from England, from the UK. So yeah, she's in her feelings about always having the racism side thrown at her. But when she is in the UK, they don't call her black. They call her mixed. They call her black here. She is not a US citizen. She is a British citizen. My girl, Victoria Rain, that does a lot of collaborations with me, she will explain it better than I can, that over there, mixed is not something that does not exist. That is something that is here. When we are mixed, or if you want to call us biracial, multiracial, whatever, and we're put in these roles where we're playing a monoracial and we're getting all of these storylines like we are just monoracial, that in itself is a problem. So, I mean, there are many problems that she could have been having on that set. But again, until we are there and we have talked to her and we have seen it, we're just spitting out shit. We don't understand or know what in the hell happened. What will happen if people found out that she was actually just being a diva? I'm not saying that happened, but I mean, just look at the opposite. What if she was being a diva on the set and just happened that she wasn't getting all the limelight? We don't know. We don't know her. We don't know any of this stuff. So, like, it's a thing. It is a thing. Macy already got back her powers in season 2, and Mel getting powers in season 3. So I wonder if Maggie will get her empath powers back again. Probably not. Probably not. I realized the actor who played Macy is Afro-Caribbean. Yep, she's Afro-Caribbean, and one of her parents is white. And if I remember correctly, I've been following her since she was on the Tomorrow People. So if I remember correctly, she either has a older brother, a twin brother, or a younger brother, and they don't look anything alike. I'm like, nothing alike, which makes sense. Me and my brother don't look alike either. So my brother's a little darker, but he has sandy brown hair and hazel eyes. I don't know. We have the same parents. Don't make any sense. Genetics, people. I know that I just think the reboot has had a very confused power development for the girls. It makes the show feel unplanned. It does. It really does, because it was unplanned. Season 1 showrunners were gone. Seasons 2 and 3 showrunners were stupid. And now we have season 4. So we'll see what happens. We will see. Let's see. Season 1 also had the evil shape too. Yeah. Season 1 had a lot of cool stuff. I wanted to see, well, I guess the Sisters of Arcadia are all gone now. They're all dead. Fiona killed them. I would love to see other groups of witches that are bad. Like, you know what I mean? Not like the whole Billy Christie thing, because that Billy Christie thing got on my nerves. I did not like Chrissy. Billy actually annoyed me a lot. I loved her on Big Bang, but I did not like her on Charmed. So I don't know. It's a thing. The show was pitched as a Latina show, but now it's like Batwoman and Black Lightning, and I'm here for it. From one ethnicity and pitched to another is current fruition. Has this ever happened? I love the fact that they have mixed race characters, but again, they don't have Afro-Latinas playing them. So that was the point that I was making. That's probably what Mel was talking about. Because if she were to have a conversation with these two people in Spanish, they wouldn't know what the hell she was saying. It's just a thing. But Section 19 got rid of Dean. I was extremely pissed. I was mad too, but then I read that Dean's actor wanted to go back to theater. You know, he's on Broadway and on he's musical theater. He wanted to go back to his theater roots, and filming a show like Station 19 is a commitment. They film a lot throughout the year. Plus they do that Grey's Anatomy crossovers. So he wasn't able to do theater, and I think that's why he left. But he asked to leave. They did not get rid of him. They wrote he did a whole interview. He posted about it. They did not part on negative terms. He just wanted to go back to his roots, and that makes sense. That's what I worry about with Jordan, because Jordan's actor is actually a musical theater actor, and I always worry about that. Like when they mentioned him being the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera, you can go to YouTube and see him. He actually has been in Phantom of the Opera as the Phantom, and there are clips of him online. So, you know, I do worry about that. I really do. It was unplanned each season. The showrunner gets the axe and the new ones do their own things. It's like they get punished. It's like bad season. The show has basically been rebooted every season. Yep. And that really is a true statement too. That is really sad. It's sad to have a reboot every season. In season 2, at the beginning of the table in safe space, Macy said to the power of 3. She looks at Harry and said 4, actually. She did. Jake, she did. She brought that on herself. She said that maybe that was a spell. The actress who plays Macy was played a lot of black roles. It wasn't her race-based storyline. This is credible info on the on-set behavior and the Kane focus on the final 2 seasons. Like I said, I'm not there. I can't be that person that just says, this is what happened, because we are not there. I just can't do that. It's like Ray. They told me that if somebody come in and said, you know what, Maria, when Ray left that stream, he went down the street, found a guy that looked like that guy that Maggie beat up and beat the shit out of him. Unless I've seen you do it and you are plastered on CNN, I don't have to believe that information because I wasn't there. I am choosing to be a person that is objective because I want people to use critical thinking and have an open mind and be objective in this world, and don't just pass an opinion and just, this is it. This is my locked in place. This is it. Nobody can tell me anything different. This is what happened on the set of Charmed. I can't do that. I wasn't there on the set of Charmed. I was not there. So, I mean, the he said, she said, they said, it is what it is. This could absolutely be true. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is because I wasn't there. I will say optically, from a writing standpoint, of course it is. But what happened behind the scenes on that show is anybody's guess because we were not there. We weren't there. Just like Ruby Rose and the drama with Batwoman. They basically parted ways. They said it was supposed to be an amicable thing, and they both agreed, this is the best choice. And then Ruby started calling out the CW, and then everybody started attacking Ruby. And it's like, what really happened behind the scenes of Batwoman? We don't know because we weren't there. So just putting it out there. I'm hearing Macy getting upset over a race on the show where she is a lead, where she never said anything on her other projects where she is hardly ever paired with a person of color. Girl, bye. Well, she was with Robbie, wasn't she? With Robbie Amell from Upload, Stephen Amell's cousin. Jon Stewart will always be my favorite. Green Lantern and Justice League member. And Jon Stewart is just amazing. Supposedly, they might become a streaming show on Paramount Plus, which I think could really help the show in so many ways. I agree. They'd have a bigger budget. Let's see. With Stephen Strange dead in Marvel, do you think the current Sorcerer Supreme will make his way to MCU in some form? Do you think the Strange Academy will make it? I am rooting for the Strange Academy. The only thing that's going to bother me is if they're trying to redo America Chavez as somebody who's going to be in the Strange Academy. But yeah, I think that I kind of felt like when we watched Spider-Man No Way Home with Ned, that might have been the direction that they were going with Strange Academy. But that was just something that was an afterthought. But I don't know. Potentially, though, that could happen, and I would be here for it. But that's just me. I really think that Melinda Warren thing will be retconned like the Charm Legacy has been season 3 and 4. And she was in the original book. I doubt Mel thought she was important enough for the new book. You know what's funny? Maybe they got rid of the Book of Shadows in season 2 at the beginning because they had Melinda Warren in it and they didn't like, F that. Well, we don't remember it. It never happened. Recreated Book of Shadows by her and Josefina. Yeah. I still would love to know what the connection would have been. I think that would have been really cool. They were like, it was just an Easter egg. No, you can't show us an Easter egg and not have actual importance to it when that is literally the foundation of the original Charmed ones. Thoughts on Misha Collins being cast as Harvey Dent on Gotham Knights? I never realized how much he kind of looks like the comic book drawn version. I didn't know that, so I need to go look at that. So I will let you know my thoughts when I look at the picture because I did not keep up with Gotham Knights because I'm still on the fence. I'm gonna watch the first 3 episodes even though I don't want to, but we're gonna see. I hope they renew season 5. So do I. Thank you for following me on IG. You're awesome. I love them bringing back the dining room table and eating together as a family, but all of that was lost. Yep, in season 2 and 3, they never did that. As a matter of fact, the episode where Macy was dying was the first time they really did anything as a couple, as a family. Yes, they sat at the table together. And I know that a lot of the time Harry was making them breakfast and, Macy would bake muffins and cookies and stuff, but they really didn't have this whole family breakfast moment. I don't know. At least they didn't call it that. It didn't feel the same, I guess, is what I'm saying. Why did the elders have a witch board for the globe, but for season 1, they only had jurisdiction over Western magic? I asked that question in season 2. I have no idea. Plot hole. That's why. That's what it is. Didn't Macy's powers evolve in season 2 or 3 where she froze all of them when Godric was almost killing him? Yeah, and it was so weird. She actually looked like she had a time freezing ability, and it was like this greenish type, like it looked light that came out. It was really, really weird. But I really legitly thought she became a time witch. But we didn't see it a lot. So I don't know. This show really isn't a Latino show anymore, to be honest. It's not. I think that's probably why Melanie said that. I wanted to do videos on the sisters' power development in the Charm reboot system, but I feel I'd either get mad trying to explain it or just legit end up confusing people because it's confusing me too. No, it's not just you. That doesn't feel nice to hear for people who came to the show because of the promise of 3 Latin leads. Latin rep in media has gone down greatly. Yep, so it's not the nicest reminder. It's not. It's also not the nicest thing where we get in our feelings about cultural appropriation with every other POC group. But when we replace Latin Americans, it's like, so like, no joke. It's like legit. Like, as a mixed person, I'm used to being replaced. Like, we get cast in roles we probably shouldn't be taking, and then we get made monoracial. Like, legit. It was like, you were half Japanese and half Nigerian, and now you're Cuban. Like, wait, what? Like, what the hell is that? So I am so used to that. But like, I guess I would be in my feelings too a little bit if I was Mel. I mean, there's no way you couldn't be. But I think it mainly comes down to the CW being fake with their rep. Of course they are. Look how they write LGBTQ plus stories. You name, besides Sarah and Ava on Legends of F and Tomorrow, please tell me one healthy LGBTQ plus relationship on that whole damn network. The entire network. Give me one. You will not find it. The best episode of Charm reboot was season 3, episode 8. I have to go back and look at that. I know I reviewed it, but I have to go back and look at it. The American view on race is in part a framework of the institutional racism and how to set superiority and inferiority on a scale of white to black. True, but let's not forget, and I hate doing this, but let's not get on our soapbox because I mean we'll be here all night. But the very first group of people that were here were indigenous, and they were ran off and had horrible things done. And what people do not understand now is that even today, they have faced cultural genocide. Their language is completely non-existent. Their religion is completely non-existent. Their culture as a whole, they're holding on to a little culture, but there have been so many tribes that have died out because of this. They put them in concentration camps, which people do not understand, just like they did Japanese Americans back in the day. They also take their children. CPS comes and takes their children if they teach them their language, and then adopts them out to American families where they never see their children again. Not for being bad parents, not for not being able to support them, but because they're teaching them their language. And I watched a documentary through my spouse's work because my spouse works for Facing History and Ourselves, and they have all these people that come in and speak. And the documentary said this is still going on in some parts of the country even today, and nobody says a damn thing about it. Nothing. So like when we talk about this country, when you are a POC, this country is shit. Period. And that is something people need to understand. Is why I keep stressing this. We need to ally for each other. We can't just give a shit about our own stuff. We need to give a shit about it all because it is all bad. So that's how I feel. And it's just what it is. I agree completely about a show on Black witches as main characters. This is one of the few, unless you go online to watch Juju in another country. A lot of Macy's fans want it. Well, I mean, and to be fair, Ray, if this had been about 3 Black sisters, hell yeah, I have no problem with that. That's what it should have been. You cannot advertise about Latina witches and then only have one in the actual cast. That's the problem. That is the problem. That is always, I've been saying this since I started reviewing this show, guys. This is not new information. But no, this was not advertised as that. It should have been. If that's the direction they wanted to go, that's what they should have done. Period. Yeah, it sucks. It's the same for people who want to see Spanish-speaking female witches. Yep. It's just, I mean, it's a thing. Hoodoo magic to make it to the show, but I am glad Brugie did as well. Due to Macy's background, her practicing hoodoo wouldn't make sense since her magical system isn't American-based. Macy? Because Macy is American. Because her mother's Marisol and her dad is Dexter. Are you talking about Josefina? Bridget, have you heard anything on the new Young Justice Dark? I haven't, but I know it's coming, and so anything with the word Justice League Dark is okay with me. So we're on the same page there. It's sad to see Mel being the only one that speaks Spanish in the family, because can't Josefina or Mel teach Maggie because she can't read the book now, and when she needs a spell, she goes to Mel. Like I said. Melinda Warren, who? They don't know who Melinda Warren is. I have a gut feeling Kayla is half white lighter. Someone said it in the Facebook group. I don't know. I mean, whose kid would she be? It would be funny if that's Harry's daughter. Like, from his past, like dropped in the future. That's another theory I guess we could throw out. Harry, that other family that you had, here's your kid. Kayla can't read the book either, and most likely their kids won't be able to as well based on their parents. Yeah. Well, Kayla is not established to be part Latina, so we don't know what she is. They got to be in the kitchen together a fair bit, but aside from a season 1 scene where Harry made them breakfast, we never really got to see them eat together. That's very true. We got to see them drink together, but not eat together. The Vera Next Generation low-key is going to look a lot like the next generation of the Kardashian family based on their current love interests. How a family looks can change in a generation. True. I don't know in real life if Jordan's actor is actually mixed or not. He looks like he is, but I mean, that's just me throwing a label on something and being ignorant. So he could be monoracial and just be light skinned. So I have no idea. I don't know what he is. So there we go. But I do know if he is mixed and then he marries a mixed person, that baby can come out any kind of way. Any kind of way. They need to make a translated version of the book since Mel can speak Spanish. She can easily make one. I agree with that. So is she hating on her sister? You should have learned Spanish. My coworkers at work are sick and tired of me talking about Charm, but I think they secretly love me for it. No, they probably do. You're probably their hookup. Riverdale has Cheryl and her beau. Wait, isn't Cheryl gay? I know she's not with Tony anymore, but is she with a guy now? I'm so confused. I gave up on Riverdale a long time ago. It's so awful what happened to the Native American community and what continues to happen. And I agree with we need to unite together as one. Absolutely. We need to care about each other more. Wakanda needs to be real, and we need to kill Killmonger out here, and we need T'Challa there. I want to see Wakanda's level. I'm tired of the switch up. I want to be able to go to Wakanda. I want them to let me visit. Because, they'll be like, we're not colonized. And I can't say that because my mother was from Scotland. So she is European. So I'd be part, even though technically my mother's family has never been to the States. So they don't have the history of slavery that we have here. And her family doesn't have that history. I still, because I have European in me, I'll be like, you can't be in Wakanda. I was so upset, but I get it. It makes sense. This is a utopian African city that is amazing, that was not touched by, the poachers of humanity. And so I just, as much as I love it, I get it. But I just want to visit. I want them to let me visit. Just let me visit. I'm talking about Macy's magical lineage isn't American. It's Spanish-based from Puerto Rico. Oh, with Bruji. I got you. Just imagine if they do a Black and Latino Charm show. I mean, they are. Technically. Not with... Now, I think Ruby is really Afro-Latina in real life, which is really interesting. She's not a charm one, but it is what it is. Marisol obviously is for her dad, any one of the white lighters. I just want to know, because I wish we would have got more. I saw one Black white lighter. Remember the one that saved Julian's sister after she was attacked? Not sister. He saved witches, and Julian saw them through the car, and that's why he got interested in magic. He was Black. I don't think that he's the daddy, but, I'm just putting that out there. That's literally the only Black male white lighter that they have introduced, or at least shown that introduced in the whole series. So I have no idea. Maria, you can still be with the Hydra. It's okay. I'm not with Hydra. What's wrong with you? We cast as Rowan McRae the lead as the Mayfair Witches TV series based on Anne Rice books. Hopefully AMC gives it a better budget than Charmed. Ooh. Really? That's exciting. That's all we have now. I got through every one of them, guys. I got through everyone. All right, so now I'm going to talk about my announcements. So let me tell you what happened with the Kung Fu today. So this morning, I was typing up my notes because I normally like to type a little script, and I use my fancy camera, not my webcam, my DSLR, to do my videos. And I was just about to do it when River's phone rang this morning, and they said, "Hey, the maintenance people are coming." And why? Well, we had to call them plumbers. I had no idea what was going on because there was nothing in my house, in my apartment. Apparently, inside of our bathtub faucet, the pipe rusted and it bust, and the downstairs neighbors were flooded. And so they were in our house from 8:30 this morning until almost 6 p.m. this evening. So I could not do anything. That's why I didn't make Kung Fu videos. And to add on to that, they still have not fixed the problem because they had the wrong flexi pipe. I know nothing about this, guys. So they're coming back on tomorrow, which is a Saturday around noon for another 4 to 5 hour adventure trying to put this new pipe in. So they have turned the water off in my bathtub and my shower. And something else you need to learn, you guys need to learn things about me. Maria loves her bubble baths before she goes to bed, and I have no water in my bathroom now. So that's problematic as hell. So I'm just letting you know. I'm trying to be all sweet tomorrow when we do our Yashahime and our Owl House review, but I'm just letting you know that, yeah, that's what's been going on in the park house today. Randomly, out of nowhere, these people, there were 4 or 5 people running in and out of my house all day long. All day. I could not even eat breakfast until 2 p.m. Like, it was bullshit. So that's why we did not have Kung Fu. And I really want to talk about Kung Fu because I'm really enjoying it so far. So I am going to make those videos. I'm going to have to make them after my streams tomorrow. We have Yashahime and we have the Owl House tomorrow. And I'm going to make those videos tomorrow right before I do my voiceover job. So we are going to have it. It's just a day late, and I do apologize. But that is what happened. I am going to have to move soon out of this apartment. This apartment is old. Like I said, it was built at the tail end of the 1800s, early 1900s, and I think that it's still there. So, I mean, I think it's still there. So that's what it is. But yeah, just had to put that out there. That is what is happening with that. I just did a collaboration with Victoria yesterday afternoon. And so I'm going to post that video Sunday on the Mixed by Genetics. And I am posting a new Approach to Yuri video on Monday because I have not posted in 3 months. And I feel so bad because I think I have almost 100 subscribers on there now. So I feel bad. So that is happening. And soon I'll be able to release all my spotlight videos. I'm excited. So yay to that. Also, guys, Trash Comics, let us know in the comments what you want because me and Groove keep going back and forth on stuff. We have the Punisher as one, but let us know one of the ones that you guys want to do because we keep picking random stories that we know and that suck. So if you have a comic book that you want us to review that is trash and you're like, what is this plot? Who wrote this? Your kindergartner, your preschooler, your dog? Put it in the comments so we can plan around that. And I may have to read it because I won't remember. I have to reread it. And then we will talk about it because, why not? 2 hours and 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes. Damn. Like, I'm tired. So I'm going to go because, again, your girl's got to get up in the morning and watch Yashahime and then watch the Owl House so I can have this stuff ready by 10. The first stream is, I believe, at 10 a.m. It's on the community tab. So make sure you put that notification bell up so you know because it's going live. And then I think I have noon is when I'm doing the Owl House. 10 is when I'm doing Yashahime. That's Central Standard Time. So you will see that those two are already set up on the community tab. So I will see you in the morning. If you have any questions, concerns, any last minute comments and I didn't get to it, by all means, put it below. So if I can't answer it, at least you guys can talk about it, but I will do my best to answer it. So put it in the comment section below. And guys, if it is night for you, have a good night. If it is day for you, have a good day. And I will see you in our next streams and videos, which are tomorrow. Bye, guys.